Hello, everyone. I'm Dalton Burdett,
Think
and we are the Movie Nights.
Well, some of them.
If you're watching this, because you want to hear our uncensored
Unfiltered.
thoughts and opinions about the world of movies and entertainment news, so kick back
Relax.
and thank you for being part of the conversation. Yo, it's been
You
so
really, you
long.
really just tried to throw that on me, didn't you?
I did, and it has been so long since we tried to do that.
You did not think I would remember that.
Not at all. Not
It was
even
like
a little bit.
reflex. It was a reflex.
Truly, it truly was.
Nightmare.
A nightmare, yes. Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Movie Nights Roundtable Live. We have a very fun show set for you guys today. It's a very long show, and that's actually a lot to talk about here. So, updates on the channel. The Movie Nights Roundtable will now be once a week, just on Friday nights. And however, it is going to be a much longer show. We're not only just going to be talking about movie news, but a plethora of movie-related topics, and just kind of stream of consciousness, chat back and forth, just kind of keep going until we're both bored and ready to be done. But we have so many news stories for you,
Kind of insane.
thank God that we decided this is going to be a longer show, because Jesus Christ, the amount of news stories we have. We got the news stories. We got other topics we're going to talk about, like the thumbnail you clicked on about Stranger Things. We're going to be discussing if streaming, the thing that birthed this hit, is also the thing that could affect its legacy. And of course, we're going to have the box office. Duh. So that's going to be very fun and lots to do. By the way, Nick, and everyone listening, my Streamlabs once again did a thing where I can't see a goddamn thing on my thing. But we're going to go. I got all my buttons set up. I think it's going to be fine. We're going to do our best here and see what we can do. And just kind of go for it. You know, I think there's a couple different ways we could do this. Oh, I got it back. I just got it back. Yes. We did it. We've done it. Oh, okay, guys. First things first. First order of business. This is actually incredibly important news. I'm cutting to my close-up. I haven't even put this in the community tab, which I need to do now that I realize it. Guys, after many years, shooting several years ago, having the premiere last year, you can now watch Quiver on Apple TV. Of course, my thing did not work. Let me fix that really quick. Oh boy. You know, that's what we get, honestly. That's what we get.
It's been a long time coming, though. It's very exciting to actually have it out there in the world. We did a little premiere here last year? No, a couple months ago? When was that?
There we go. It was last year. Boom! There it is. It is now available on Apple TV for $2.99, which is, guys, it's not bad. It's $1 per 10 minutes. I don't think that's the worst thing ever. It's on Apple TV. It's also on Google Play Movies, Google TV, if you will. So there's plenty of places for you to watch. If you watch it, please tell us your thoughts and any comments on videos, any social media DMs. We worked really hard on the film. We're really proud of it. It's about 32 minutes long. And, we're big boys too. So if you want to make fun of us a little bit, that's fine. That is fine. And, I'm just so thrilled that it's out. I'm so happy that we were able to release it and, get it on a streaming platform that's really great. And that just feels really good. It just feels so good to do. And, yeah. Anyways.
What is your stress level now that it's just out there to the world?
Is
it just gone now? Do you feel like a weight lifted off your chest?
Buddy, it's never gone. But I will say, I feel a huge burden lifted off my shoulders. What's crazy too is we're inside baseball here. Usually whenever we make a film, because we've been making films for about 8 years, usually after we wrap and after it comes out and it's done, I take a month off where I don't do anything. I don't see any friends. I don't see any family. I don't work on anything. I take off work. I mean, I'll work my day job because I have to, but I just take a month off and I just relax and just drain myself, and then we're good. I usually do it after we wrap shooting and after the film is out. Quiver, I got neither. And it was the hardest film we've ever done. It was such a long, hard day, if you will. But it was such a difficult film to make, and it was really complex. It took the longest, and I never got the break. So it's just like, man, I might do that again at some point. I might just be, or at least I think before we start shooting the next one, I'm gonna take another break just to relax and clear up a bit.
That makes sense. Yeah. My mom has not seen it yet. I sent her the link today. Yeah, I made my mom pay.
You better.
But it's okay. In fairness, it's my Apple TV account, so I'm the one being billed.
Hey, listen. It is what it is.
But so we're pending the mother review of it, which will be very entertaining.
I can't wait. I hope she just rips it to fucking shreds, honestly.
Like, what the hell was this?
Yeah, she calls you. She's like, I really need you to take another look in the mirror about your career directions. That would be the best thing.
I don't know any of these people. Normally it's your friends. I'm like, well, they're new friends. And also we tried to get people who can act.
Yeah, right. Dude, I got to tell you, I remember, what film did we make? No, it was Quiver. So when I first started showing the trailer, it was the trailer for Quiver. That's what it was. So like my mom basically rallies up all of her work friends and all of her friends in the community to like watch my stuff. And I had starred in all the previous ones, usually just out of necessity. I'm not a very good actor. But we got like really good actors for Quiver. And when they watched the trailer and she sent it out, apparently the number one question she got was like, I didn't see your son in there. And it's like, yeah, I'm not in it. Fucking, how many times do we got to say that?
You mean your mom's rallying all her coworkers and our Roundtable episodes only get 50 views?
Buddy, getting these people to use YouTube can be a challenge, you know? It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But before we dive into our incredible show that we have for you guys, gotta hit the live chat because they're having some fun in here. Let's see. We got some people arguing about being number 2 fans or whatever. That's fun. Calixer and Turnip Head, welcome as always. Morgan Bedar says, congratulations. Thank you about Quiver. Dylan Stoner says, excellent callback. I assume you're talking about when I said long, hard day. So thank you for that.
That is correct, yes.
Kyler said, had me quivering at the end of each shooting day. Okay, listen. Kyler, I'm gonna go to you directly. I'm so sorry. Like, the shit that I put you through, I remember the second day was like a 16-hour day because I got zealous and I'm like, we can get all the scenes in. Fuck page limits. We can get through this motherfucker. And I'm like, we're trying to rally the troops. Everyone's fucking tired. Everyone's hungry. And then we're trying to do the last shot. And I was trying to tell Kyler, I was like, hey, Kyler, do it like this. And dude, the look that Kyler gave me in his face was just like the look of, please end my suffering. I was like, this is the last one. I promise we're done after this.
You know, it's one of those things. I mean, to me, I think it's probably the best thing we've made just on all technical fronts. So I think it's, you know, the result, the energy, the time, the sweat, the tears, it's all on the screen for that one.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know, there's still some stuff where budget-wise we just didn't have the money, and I look at it and I go, God, I wish we had the money for that. But overall, I'm incredibly proud of it, incredibly pleased with it. Anything I dislike about it is my fault. So there is that. Oh my God.
Take some solace in that.
Turnip Head says, Dalton will always be an action hero in our hearts. That's right. 2 times.
I mean, who else has a Funko Pop of a character they've played?
True. It's over there. I would go get it, but I'm way too lazy. Calixtus said he's an award-winning actor. That was the funniest day of my whole life. I won an acting award at a film festival that I should not have won. Like, it was like I was clearly the worst actor in the category. And me winning, people were trying to be really nice. You could tell people were fucking pissed. That was funny.
Was that for, which one was that for? Was that for No More Safe Haven?
Yeah. I could not believe that. I think the only reason I won is because it was my first film festival and I was like hyperactively connecting with everybody. Yeah. And I was being like a child, like thank you so much for accepting our film. We're so excited. And then they watched the film and I'm an action person. So I think they were just like, wow, little man can fight. And I think that's really all that happened there. Let's see. Turnip Head says, you only got through that shot because I brought drinks that one time. That is true. Thank you, Turnip Head. Kyler says, peace and love and peace and love. Turnip Head says, I'm basically a producer. Fucking, Easy. Easy.
They're gonna start coming for the credits. They're like, I'm not listed as why am I not an associate producer?
Yeah, whenever I send out the inevitable please help me text when I'm making a movie, they're gonna be like, all right, executive producer this time or I'm out. And it's like, Jesus Christ, fine. No, I promise after this we'll move on.
I should get executive producer credit because I do the YouTube channel.
You should, honestly. But one of the funniest things I've ever heard on a set, I think it was Kyler. We fight all the time on these sets. And I think we were on the set of The Local. And we were arguing about a setup. And we kept going and going and going. And Kyler just goes, I'll go home. I was just like, shit, he's right. Hey, I can't have you go home. I need you.
None of us have to be here. We want to.
Yeah.
And you're pushing our limits.
Oh. All right, let's hope we got Fragrance of Style in the chat saying, hey, everyone. Hello, Fragrance of Style.
Hello.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. About to get into a good show. Speaking of a good show, let's actually dive into that with Nicholas's wonderful PowerPoint. Now, first off, we're going to be talking about there were a ton of trailers that came out, really great trailers, and we got to get in on these trailers and talk about them because they were a lot of fun. I forgot that you literally had a slide that said trailer thoughts, and I would have timed that up if I remembered. Okay.
Yeah, there's headers when we moved to each section there now. I had to make a bigger PowerPoint for the longer show.
Yes, and I did look at it, I promise. I just forgot that was there. So...
Did you catch my Easter eggs?
Oh, no. I'm going to have to look again. Mortal Kombat 2 released a trailer showing Karl Urban. You may know him from The Boys and from Judge Dredd and the Star Trek reboot films where he played Bones.
And Red 2.
Jesus Christ, what a pool, dude. Red 2, wow.
It might have been Red 1.
It was not
one of them. No, Red, like the first Red movie, Red 1, the action movie. With
I was like, wait a minute.
No. R.E.D., Retired, Extremely Dangerous. With John Malkovich.
Bruce Willis, all of them, really. So, Mortal Kombat 2 had its trailer release a couple of days ago. A Red Band trailer, even, which is even more fun. And the first Mortal Kombat movie I saw in theaters, and I saw it with my cousin. We were excited to go. I thought it wasn't that great. Don't get me wrong. There were a lot of things to like in it. You could tell it was made by people who like really liked the source material, were big fans of the game, and they had these really cool action sequences. The fatalities were crazy. When fucking Sub-Zero cuts somebody, freezes their blood, and then stabs them, I was like, all right, that was worth coming alone. But I do think that they were kind of falling under the pressure of not knowing what type of movie to make with the material that they love. And it kind of suffered in a bit of an identity crisis, while you have the film being fun and funny in some parts, trying to be, serious and endearing in other parts. And it was just kind of trying to figure all that out. Well, Mortal Kombat 2 trailer comes out. If this movie is anything like this trailer, they fucking nailed the identity crisis they were having, dude. This movie looks fun as fuck. It looks like it knows exactly what it is. It knows exactly the type of movie it wants to be. I do feel a little bit bad for Louis Tan, who was the lead actor in the first film, because he's barely in this trailer, barely. But it's really focusing on Johnny Cage. And honestly, I don't even think you could have called it Mortal Kombat 2. You could have called it Mortal Kombat something, so just that people could watch this. This trailer looked like you could watch this movie and know nothing about Mortal Kombat and be fine. And I think that's a really great approach to take, especially because it's been a few years. I think it's been 4 years. Yeah, 4 years since the first movie. That's great. I love the trailer. I kind of begrudgingly clicked on it, and then by the end I was like, all right, they fucking got me. They got me. I'm gonna go. Nick, you had a chance to watch the trailer for Mortal Kombat 2. What were your thoughts? Oh, I lost your mic. He's gonna go and come back. This happens from time to time. Live shows. You gotta love it. All right, I can hear you, buddy. Go for it.
Great. Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the trailer. Listen, Karl Urban's at a stage in his career where I think he is doing that whole Billy Butcher thing kind of in every role. He's one of those actors that I think is kind of just doing what he's best known for. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And I think it really worked. I think it was a great choice for Johnny Cage. I think they could have honestly just caused called the movie, sorry, Johnny Cage. Like, I think more people would be interested on it. I think making him the lead character is probably a great choice to take it, especially when you have Carl Urban and, the new season of The Boys will probably be airing roughly around the time this comes out. So I think it's a great choice overall in that regard. The action I thought looked like a big improvement over it. And I have a really funny story with the first Mortal Kombat in that we went to go see it at our AMC theater, and I was running a little bit late. I don't know if you were with me for this or not.
I don't think
And
so.
timing it, I'm like, oh man, I think that the movie has started at this point. And I was in line getting popcorn and everything. So I started watching the movie because it came out day and date on HBO Max.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I was in line getting popcorn and soda, watching the opening of the movie, and then came in. Like, I ended up timing it really well, but I was so sad because the opening to me was the best part of the movie, that whole opening fight sequence. And I'm like, man, I wish I saw that on the big screen. I thought the sets and the world, the atmosphere of the building looked really good. I'm not really overly familiar with the lore of Mortal Kombat and the characters. I played the game a few times. I know Johnny Cage, but it's kind of like, Johnny Cage, Sub-Zero, everyone knows the big ones. But I thought the action and the cinematography, I thought the way it's directed, I know it's the same director, but it looks like a very different visual style than the first movie. So I'm very interested to see it.
Yeah,
and
no.
It made me actively excited, which is not something I was expecting to come out of this with.
Listen, same. I watched the trailer kind of begrudgingly. And when it was over, I was like, well, we're going to go. We're absolutely going to go. So before we move on, hold on. Everyone's doing some really funny Carl Urban stuff in the chat. I'm loving it. Dylan Stoner saying, I need a diabolical from Carl Urban. Absolutely. Calixir wants to watch the trailer and give commentary. I can't do that because specifically it was Warner Brothers, and last time they copyrighted the hell out of me. I know that if I pause, it won't be all that stuff, but I'm not taking it with Warner Brothers. However, we were talking about Mortal Kombat, so something I wanted to pull up for a second is there's an amazing fan film of Mortal Kombat called Mortal Kombat Deathright, and that film is directed by somebody who worked on Quiver. They did the opening title credits for Quiver. His name's Tyler David Niehoff. He's an excellent creative person, amazing director on this, very great friend of mine. It is an excellent, I keep saying that, but it's true, fan film. And I'm going to kind of go through some of it here. They did a fantastic job on this movie. They shot it in the woods of Ocala, Florida, I believe. It was really fun. Honestly, I was blown away. Like, I knew he was a very good, talentedly, creative person. I was blown away by the work on the film. I just wanted to bring it up because we were talking about Quiver and talking about him. And selfish plug, shameless self-plug here. The only thing that I had to do with this film is at one point, I came over when they were working on him and Austin, were working on the fight choreography. And they were like, hey, can we just run through it? And there's a brief moment in the fight. I can't remember where it happens. But there's a brief moment in the fight where Sub-Zero gets hit back and starts doing a freeze ball. And then someone comes in and the fight continues. Basically, the only input I had is I put a little pause break in the fight because they were trying to figure out how to get from one stage of the choreography to the other. And I was like, oh, put a little break right here and have them try to create an ice ball. And then, you can have that second to breathe. And because of that, they were kind enough to offer me producer credit, going back to Turnip Head's little thing.
Hey.
And I was like, no, guys, this was all you. You crushed the hell out of this movie. Don't, give me producer credit. This is all you. And they were like, come on, but what do you want? What do you want from this? And I was like, all right, I'll tell you what, just give me a special thanks in the credits. And boom, right there. Special thanks with me. And this video, by the way, if you're like, oh, it's a fan film, it has almost 3 million views, guys. It's an excellent, excellent film that everyone should go watch. Mortal Kombat Deathright is what it's called. But yeah. Oh, no, we got some people in here. We got shout out to Niehoff. Absolutely. Niehoff is the man. And Niehoff, my guy from Turnip Head. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very well deserved. Anyway, that's what's fun about these longer shows, is we can just go off on tangents and then not have to worry about reeling it in for a certain time. This is lovely. I'm loving this already. We can ramble. We can ramble again. This is fun.
We can ramble. Who would have thought?
Not me. Guys, what did you think of the Mortal Kombat 2 trailer? And please go watch Mortal Kombat Deathright while you're at it. let us know in the comments as we move on to the next trailer we're going to talk about, and that is for Stranger Things 5. The first batch of episodes comes out November 26th, 2025. Obviously, we're going to be talking about Stranger Things later in the show again, but this is obviously one of the biggest TV events of the year. It's the final season of Stranger Things. Stranger Things was the show that was really one of the first Netflix shows to hit the stratosphere of streaming shows. You know, other than like, it was like this, House of Cards, and a couple other things came out in like 2016. This trailer was fucking awesome, dude. It was a good week for trailers, man. Different type of awesome. They gave us a lot more than I thought they would. Like, it was a full trailer. And it was really kind of... We used to have this conversation whenever Stranger Things would come out where we would say, I'm never excited about Stranger Things until I watch it when the new season comes out. And I'm like, oh, right, this show fucking rules. This time, this trailer came out and I was like, fuck, dude, I can't wait to watch this. Like, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm sad that it's ending, but as Turniphead's pointing out in the chat right now, the cast is middle-aged by now, so yep, they have to end it. But it's just one of those things where I didn't know what I was expecting. It looks phenomenal. And Linda, goddamn Hamilton, is in the trailer. My goat, Sarah Connor, my goat, is in the trailer. I can't wait for this. Nick, your thoughts on Stranger Things 5 trailer?
No, I definitely enjoyed it. I kind of agree with your sentiment. Stranger Things is a show I kind of forget about until it's airing again. And I'm like, man, this is amazing. And then it goes off air and I'm like, all right, see you next time. See you in a few years when you come back. But no, I thought it was an excellent trailer. I agree with what you said about us seeing a lot more than we were expecting. And I kind of love when marketing is able to go into a sense of finality. Like, I love that the push is like, this is the end, and you kind of get that sense of dread. You get that sense of scale, because this looks like, my God, the most expensive season they've made.
Yeah.
I mean, the production value is absolutely insane. And I thought about that about the last season, and seeing this one, I'm like, oh my God, they are just fully making movies every episode, like full scale, big budgeted movies. And I'm here for it. I mean, it's a great show. It's insane that it's gone on as long as it has, and this is season 5. But, you know, when the product you're turning out is as good as it is and the production quality is that high, I get it and I understand it. But I just wish there was more. But it was a great first trailer. I'm very excited for it.
Selfishly, the only thing I'm not excited about is, and every year this happens, where whether it's stuff coming out normally or stuff that, since we're in the Critics Association of Central Florida, where we get early access to movie screenings, movie screeners, and same thing with television sometimes. The holidays are so fucking busy. And they're already busy just in life. Like, without what we do, holidays are always busy. Specifically, in the association, when we have all of these screeners, because we got the awards coming up, we're trying to get in our Oscar picks as well, just like for our personal ones. You have these TV shows that come out over the holidays, and like you're probably traveling to be with family, like, and then spoiler culture has gotten so fucking bad on the internet that I'm like, if I miss, like, it used to be you could go like 4 days before your feeds were just full of spoilers. Now it's hours. Like, if I don't watch this when it airs, it's like, I'm going to get spoiled. As soon as I open my phone, it's on there. And it's just like, God damn it. Like,
I remember,
give me some time, for the love of God.
This happened recently with me. So can I talk Ironheart spoilers? Is that fine at this point, we think?
Guys, we're going to talk Ironheart spoilers. Sorry. Go on, buddy.
I still have not watched Ironheart yet.
Oh, fucking watch Ironheart.
I want to. I just have not had the time.
And here's the thing. You can't get that mad at me because I still haven't reviewed Ironheart. And I watched the whole thing, so there's that.
So, you know, it's just one I have not gotten to yet, which is sad that we're at a point, right, where it's like, oh my God, a whole new Marvel show dropped, and even the nerds haven't watched it yet. And I thought it looked really good. It's just the timing and the commitment to it. And I think what it is the way they dropped it. They did 2 weeks. They did 3 episodes each week. If it was weekly, I would have been fully caught up right now. But now it's just 6 episodes sitting there, and it seems like a whole.
Oh, hold on, Nick. It looks like your audio went out. I didn't know because I was switching headphones. Here, go out and come back.
Oh boy, I wonder how far I got.
I have no idea because I literally plugged in. I cut to your camera and I plugged these in and put them in and I couldn't hear you. And I was like, oh, it must be my headphones. And I unplugged them and put my thing back on. And then people were like, no, it's the audio.
For whatever happens with Streamlabs, it's always whenever you connect your headphones that my audio resets.
It's very strange, very odd.
It's very strange. These are the real Stranger Things, isn't it?
Yes. And Turner Pet says they didn't hear anything. So here's your chance, buddy. Go again, and I won't touch jack shit. Have fun.
Okay, long story short, when Iron Man Heart came out, I haven't watched it yet because they released 3 episodes over the course of 2 weeks, so 3 and 3, so there's 6 episodes. If it was weekly, I'd still be watching it because it would still be airing and I'd probably be caught up by now, but just seeing 6 episodes sitting there waiting for me seems like a huge commitment that I'm not ready for. But to the point of spoiler culture, in episode 5 of the series, I do know for a fact that Sacha Baron Cohen shows up as Mephisto, the long-rumored character to be appearing in the MCU. And when that episode aired at like 9 p.m. when they aired on the Eastern time frame, I know for a fact it was like 9:30, 10 o'clock when that was already on my feed, the high definition version of that scene. And that's just an insane thing about movie culture. And I think that or just TV culture and spoiler culture in general. So I think that's what I like about the new Stranger Things is that the finale is airing on its own day and time. Where it's like, okay, now I know that I can kind of center time around this. Because it's a lot harder to center, like, okay, if they're dropping 5 episodes on one day, that's a big commitment for a day. But for just one day to watch, 90 minutes, I think that's a lot more reasonable.
Yeah, no, 100%. And by the way, I figured it out. The reason why your audio went out the first time is because Kevin Feige was trying to make sure you didn't spoil Ironheart. So that's what happened.
Like, no one's watched it yet. We can't have it spoiled.
Oh, shame. By the way, I liked Ironheart for the most part. It's not great, but it's not bad. The good is really good. Anyway, not talking about Ironheart, but yeah, the spoiler culture is terrible. And like, I've literally debated, like, man, if I had money, I would just get a separate phone that's for scrolling social media and like with like yes, I could make a new account on my phone or whatever, but like it would figure it out. Like it would still put it on my feed. Like I literally thought about getting a phone that has no service. It just connects to the internet. And I am not a profile. Like it's a random profile. And I don't, so I can get like news and other stuff without like, oh, what's on my For You tab? Oh, it's a massive spoiler for a movie I haven't seen. Awesome. Thank you so much. And then that's it. Yeah. Dude, your audio went out again, bro. That was the clearest what the fuck I've ever seen without hearing you. Come on back.
I need better headphones.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, I wonder what it is.
We'll figure it out. Look, I started off the stream by not even being able to see anything, so clearly Streamlabs is on one.
Kylixer, is it my microphone or my headphones?
What is it? Explain. But guys, what do you think about all the trailers that came out this week that we talked about? Let us know. Now we're going to move on to the first look images that we got. We got a lot of teaser stuff this week, Nicholas. And the first thing we got to discuss is this. The first poster for Supergirl. Now, very mild spoilers for Superman. For those that haven't seen it, it had just come out last weekend. It's been out for about a week. That's not too bad.
The scene was on an hour after the first showing.
That's true. It was on Twitter. Supergirl makes a very, very brief appearance in the film towards the end of the movie. And we know that the movie that they're making for Supergirl is based on Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which is just a very dark comic that I'm very curious as to how they're gonna handle that. But I am loving the idea of Superman's tagline being look up and hers is look out. I love this. Genius marketing, in my opinion. They should really keep up the bit, and every new thing they release, they add look something, and just keep doing this. That would be so funny. Like if Peacemaker was look down for no reason, like that would be really funny. But I think this is a great teaser poster. You get a tiny shot here of Millie Alcock, kind of giving a bit of the personality that we're going to be getting with Supergirl. I think this is a great first look, especially for a movie that is done shooting, but we're nowhere near like a trailer or anything yet. But guys, this excites me. And it kills me. It kills me that I'm not going to be at Comic-Con this year because I want to see what this trailer is. But I digress. Nicholas, what did you think of the teaser poster?
I thought it was very clever because, especially in the movie, is trying to explain the sort of differences between the two characters, and I think using the other movie's marketing to launch this marketing was a great. I think it's just showing overall symmetry within the universe and the studio as a whole, which I think is very refreshing to see. There are some differences that people have been pointing out online. Her belt and her skirt are different, which is makes sense. You know, they probably put together a quick costume to have her cameo in Superman, and then obviously the movie will have a different look to it. But I thought she was great in her first little appearance there. I am very curious because I think like you were saying, the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is a very dark comic, and she was very much not dark in her brief appearance. So I'm very curious to see that tonal shift happen. Obviously, we'll probably get more Crypto, which will be exciting if you like Crypto. I was kind of mixed on him personally overall, but they're double dipping with the cute dog, so I don't blame them for that. But no, I think it's I'm very interested in the movie. Obviously, you have Jason Momoa is going to be playing Lobo, which is very exciting, and you have Craig Gillespie behind the camera, who's never a bad director to have helming your movie. So I think it's going to be very fun and just very interesting to see how it goes off. I'm very curious as the choice to make it the second movie in the universe, but I think it's probably going to be so isolated that maybe it won't really have any relevance to just the greater universe. And there was another point that I can't think of right now that I was going to say.
Well, you're doing great. I liked everything you said. I pulled up some comments from the live chat while you were talking about Turniphead said that they're obsessed with Superman, might watch it a third time. I did watch it a third time, so, no shame in that. I refuse to put up any comments that have crypto slander. Absolutely not. But everything else is looking great.
I remembered what it was.
Go on.
I wish I had pulled them up for the video, but there were so many funny TikTok skits that people were making about it. We're saying, like, if Supergirl had arrived like a day earlier while the events of Superman were happening, and it's just like a guy was being Superman. He's like, Lex, no, listen, you don't understand. You have to give me the dog.
Or everyone's dead.
Or everyone is dead. They were just kind of overplaying that. And Lex is like, no, I'm not giving it to you, idiot. And then, like, you just heard like a crash noise and him just going like, and the camera shaking and cutting. There were a ton of those, and all of them made me laugh.
Good.
She would have honestly destroyed Earth for
That's
that
true.
dog.
That's true. Guys, right now, live on the show, I'm going to switch headphones. And if we lose Nick's audio, we'll just fix it in real time. Apparently, I can't be discreet with his camera angle because it just fucking ruins everything. So here we go.
We're going to see what happens. So do you want me to keep talking and then we'll watch it cut out in real time?
Yes. Go for it.
Okay. I mean, I don't remember. I actually have Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow on my comic shelf. It is.
You're gone. You're gone. It cut out. That was so funny. Let's bring him back.
This part about it, though, is...
We gotcha.
So the crazy part is that as I'm talking, though, like on my end, I see my mute button with the microphone, and the audio levels are going through the microphone, which is odd.
Have no clue. It's probably just when I switch, like it activates something. But we did it. And these headphones don't have a battery, so we'll be fine.
Now we're talking.
Does my audio still sound like it's coming from here, or is it coming from here?
Nope, it's coming from your main mic.
Excellent.
We're live troubleshooting. Watch what happens live, folks.
Life is good. Life is good. Guys, what did you think of the Supergirl poster? Let us know in the comments as we move on to this. And I know there's some people in this live chat who are going to fucking love this conversation. Other first look photos we got are of the new Harry Potter and Hagrid for the upcoming Harry Potter series. I have thoughts on this that I'm going to bring up now. I, on this very show, have been very supportive of the new Harry Potter reboot. Before I dive into that, though, let me make something really clear. Let me cut to my close-up. Fuck J.K. Rowling. Anyway, I've been very supportive of the new show because I've always thought, like, hey, it's not going to ruin anything. You always have the movies. If you want to go back and watch the movies, they're not being wiped from existence. If the show's great, then you have another great adaptation. Why not celebrate that? The costumes look exactly the fucking same. And that's pretty aggravating to me. Because, like, if you're going to make changes, and you saw some of the casting they were doing, it's like, oh, they're going to do, like, this bold, interesting take. If I showed my mom that picture of Hagrid, she would think it's the original Hagrid. Like, she would not even realize, like, oh, that's a different actor. And I understand they're probably going off a description of the books, because I've read the first few Harry Potter books, so, like, I get it, kind of. But why not just why not just fucking make a new take? I defended you, show. I said you're going to do something interesting. Don't do this to me. Actually be interesting, please. That's all I ask. Now, listen. I could be getting heated over nothing. Maybe we watch it, and we're like, who gives a fuck? It looks fine. But when I saw the images, I just kind of thought, like, man, I was excited for, like, an interesting new take on this and, like, kind of how it's going to differentiate itself, but I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I'm still going to be watching. I'm excited. I do have faith that it will be good. But the images kind of left me like, whatever. How'd you feel about them?
No, about the same. You know, I don't think I've felt one way or the other about the show. I think they've done some very interesting casting that I am very interested to see the adaptations of these characters throughout it. But again, yeah, it really does just look like they went back and found the, like, Sorcerer's Stone, Philosopher's Stone costuming department, dusted them off, gave them a good dry cleaning, and slapped them on these new people. And I mean, now granted, the original costumes look fantastic. Yeah. Hagrid looked great. Harry looked great. He looks like Hagrid. He looks like Harry. But it does look like more of the same, which is, I think, a little bit disappointing. So I am very excited to see more of the other cast that's announced. Like, I'm very interested to see Janet McTeer as, oh my God, why am I blanking on the name? McGonagall. I'm very interested to see John Lithgow as Dumbledore. But when those images come out and they look exactly the same, I might, start to have some hesitation there. But I think they have a great team working on the film, or on the series. I really like the fact that they're making and filming season 1 and 2 back to back, so that they're going to be able to get it out quicker, and while they are still young, when they're supposed to be a little bit younger. And as for the kids, I haven't seen them act. I don't know what they're from, so this is going to be my first introduction to them. I feel like I know what I'm going to get from Nick Frost. I feel like I know what I'm going to get from John Lithgow. And I don't think that it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a good thing. It's just, we'll see.
We'll see.
The costume reveals, the first look reveals, did not give me the excitement that I think that they wanted it to instill from an audience, from a fan base that was already hesitant on the project as a whole. Honestly, I would kind of make it reminiscent of, like, the live action How to Train Your Dragon. They just showed me the same thing that I've seen. Is it going to be better or worse? That's to be determined. But, like, when you see it and you're like, oh, I kind of wish they did something different and not a 1-to-1.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool if they did a full lightning scar.
Oh, across the whole face?
Yeah, why not? Have some fun with it.
Absolutely. Hannah brings up something incredibly poignant and interesting in the live chat that I want to pull up here. She says they won't be able to change the costumes because of the brand. Warner Brothers / J.K. Rowling won't let them deviate from what Potter is, quote, supposed to look like. And then she adds, they won't be able to change anything, really. For those that don't know, let me just tell you that Hannah has the inside scoop, and that's 100% correct. And it's something I didn't even think about. So thank you, Hannah. Thank you. That's actually, you're 100% right. Absolutely. However, I have to pull up this comment from Calixer that says, if they go off the books, they should have pointy hats the whole time.
They should. Give them the pointy hats.
I agree. Completely. I agree. Guys, what did you think about the Harry Potter first look images? Let us know in the comments as we move on to something that has me fucking excited. So, as you guys know, 2026 is going to be the best year of my life. In that, 1, I'm getting married. 2, I'm going to be getting The Punisher in his own special, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, and Spider-Man 4. Punisher's my favorite character of all time, as you know. Well, they've started filming the Punisher special. And Nick, when we talked about that a long time ago on the show, what did I say I wanted to see in the special, if possible?
You said that you hope you finally get to see in live action. Well, I think they've done it in live action before, but you wanted to see the Nucci family, more or less. They're a big Punisher villain. It's a mob family, and you have only wanted to see them versus John Bernthal's Punisher.
You're absolutely correct in your assessment, Nicholas. They've started filming, which means set photos are out. And what do we have? The Nucci restaurant on the streets. Let's fucking go. Now, listen. There's something important that I need to point out for my own enthusiasm, my own ego here. This could just be an Easter egg. Honestly, it's a 45-minute special. There's not a whole lot you can do. However, this could just be a fun Easter egg that they give us. Because the only other time the Nuccis were mentioned in the Netflix MCU, and well, now the main MCU, was in the pilot episode of the Punisher series, where Punisher wipes out a group of mob people, but before that, one of them mentions, blah, 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 they worked for the Nuccis. So it's like, okay, they are active in New York City. At least they were in 2017. Mm-hmm. But that's exciting. I hope I get to see, if we get to see Ma Nucci specifically. She's fucking evil. And I want to see her so badly. And not only are they excellent in the comic run, especially the Punisher Max Welcome Back Frank comic run that Garth Ennis did. It's getting real sweaty. I'm so sorry. We'll move on soon. But
we get sweaty for Punisher here.
We do.
It's fine.
It's an
Let me tell you something about Punisher.
Listen, the Garth Ennis run is fucking spectacular. If anyone wants to get into comics and they don't know where to start, the Garth Ennis Punisher run, brilliant. It's brilliant. But not only are they great in the comic books, the 2004 Punisher video game that I have for the PlayStation 2, which has Thomas Jane coming back to voice the Punisher from the 2004 movie. That game is fucking spectacular. It's so good. And the Nucci family is very prevalent in that game. Like, many levels, you are just trying to kill members of this fucking family. And at one point, you kill a brother in the family, and in the next level, you go to the funeral home, you sneak into his casket, and at the funeral, you pop out and start mowing down the rest of the Nucci family. It's pretty spectacular. If you've never played this video game, for the love of God, get your hands on it. And Nick, next time you come over, I think I might have shown you that level before. If I haven't,
you have shown me specifically that level and a level at a zoo.
Yes, the zoo level's fantastic.
Now, is this a tie-in to the movie, like Tobey Maguire voicing in the Spider-Man games?
It acted like a sequel to the movie because in the game they mentioned like Howard Saint and like who was in the movie. So the game, I'm on the game now. You guys fucked up. So basically, in the game, it starts off with like a cutscene of him like taking out members of the Yakuza, and he gets arrested. And Detective Martin Soap comes in, who's a famous Punisher character, and another cop comes in, and they're interrogating Punisher. And the whole game is while they're interrogating him and asking him what happened next. It goes back and you play the level all the way up until you get to him being arrested. And there are so many. This was back in the early 2000s where people didn't give a shit about rights when it came to anything but movies. So literally, there's a level at Stark Tower where fucking Iron Man comes in and helps you during one of the levels. There's one where you go to a pier for like shipping containers and fucking Black Widow's there. And it's just like, oh, and like she helps you take out some people. There's another level on an island where you meet up with Nick Fury. And the best part, randomly, while you're being interrogated, in one of the cutscenes, Matt Murdock just barges in and tries to get you to shut up, and Punisher just goes, "Nah, leave, Murdock, I got this." And Murdock's like, "All right," and just fucks off. Not a playable character at all, or not even just a character that plays the game, just comes in for the cutscene and leaves.
Meanwhile, I have played 2 Spider-Man PlayStation 4 games. Now, granted, I have not finished, not PlayStation 4, 5? 5. What are we on now?
We're on the 5 now. I think the first one came out on the 4.
then I have the 5.
Gotcha.
I played 2 Spider-Man PS4, PS5 games. I have not finished the second one yet. There is literally Avengers Tower in New York, the whole map, and I have yet to encounter any Avenger.
Yeah.
Speaking to your rights.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. But also, now I'm just thinking about the Spider-Man 2 PS2 game with the pizza missions. Oh, man. Some of
the hardest levels in a video game ever.
Dude, okay.
They're not easy. They're not easy.
All right, so you know this because you were my roommate, but just for the audience, when I was in college, Nick lived 2 doors down, so he couldn't really hear my room. Ian, the person I shared a wall with, was woken up many times at 2 a.m. by that fucking pizza song because I rediscovered that game on my PS2 that still works, and I started playing it, and I went back to literally the game that I played when I was 8 and like hadn't finished the pizza missions, and I was like, holy fuck, I can complete the game. So I like got obsessed with trying to complete this game, and dude, it took, you ask Ian, he was awake, it took me months to do those pizza missions.
8-year-old Dalton couldn't do the pizza missions, and 20-year-old Dalton could not either.
Yes, it was difficult, but I got it there in the end. It's a fantastic game, by the way. Amazing. Before we move on, I just want to point out that my better half in the live chat points out Punisher is higher on the excitement list than The Wedding, let's be honest with each other. On the advice of counsel, I decline to answer. Guys, what do you think about the Punisher special set photos that are coming out? And are you excited for the Nucci family? Because you should be. It's going to be awesome if they're in it. Again, this could just be an Easter egg. Expectations. Could just be an Easter egg. But I hope it's not. That'd be really fun. All right, guys. Talk about the long version of the show. We're 47 minutes in, and we're just getting to the stories. Let's go.
Let's do it.
And our first story.
We're gonna blow through these stories.
Maybe we'll see.
No, we got a lot to talk
There's
about.
so many stories.
There's so many stories.
Our first story. Oh, right, it's this one. Oh, the Places You'll Go is a obviously famous Dr. Seuss book. You know, we love Dr. Seuss. He famously, no, I can actually use this here. He infamously cheated on his wife while she was in the hospital with another woman while his wife was actually dying in the hospital. And, you know, the old saying goes, one bitch, two bitch, dead bitch, new bitch. So that's really fun. But as it goes, you never heard that one before, have you? That joke deserved more than 5 viewers, I'm just saying. But I got him. He's done.
I didn't think that's where a Dr. Seuss thing was going.
Yeah, that's where it went.
Wait, it's a joke, but is that also true?
Yes, it is true. I think it's true. I'm pretty sure it's true.
Oh my God.
Someone look it up if he cheated on his wife and put it in the live chat. Because if not, and I just gaslit myself to thinking that joke is real.
That sounds like a joke like your grandfather would tell you when you were way too young.
Uh-huh.
And then you're just like, that's just fact now.
Yeah, basically, yeah. But anyway, there's more information about that movie, Oh, the Places You'll Go. And it's actually pretty wild. We talked about it recently when the director was pointed out, because this guy is just busy as hell. Ariana Grande from Wicked and Josh Gad from Frozen will voice the leads. John M. Chu, Wicked, Crazy Rich Asians, and the director of the upcoming... What the fuck did we report on that he's directing? Hot Wheels. That's what it was. Will be, and it will be also be directing with Jill Colton, who directed Abominable and Open Season. Film is set to center on a young adventurer navigating the ups and downs of life, obviously, Oh, the Places You'll Go, and release in IMAX in March of 2028. This, of course, comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter. Nick, I don't really give a fuck. Now, listen, I'm going to watch the movie. I am actually a fan of Dr. Seuss, despite my joke. I'm out of enthusiasm for this. The Cat in the Hat, I'm barely excited for just because it's Bill Hader, right? Look, the talent involved is crazy, and that's the only reason why I'm going. If I didn't recognize the talent involved, I would not go unless someone told me I had to because of how good it was. With that being said, maybe it's great. I think another thing about the film, and I could be wrong about this, aren't the people who wrote the La La Land songs doing the music? Or did I dream that?
I can pull up the article if you know their names offhand.
Justin Hurwitz and oh man,
No,
I'm failing you.
Benj Pasek and Justin Paul are writing original songs from a project produced by J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot.
All right. Look up one of the names on IMDb. I think they are the La La Land people. Justin Hurwitz did the score. Fuck, he did the score. That's what happened. While you're doing that, Jeffrey Miller says it's funny for the joke. Thank you, Jeffrey Miller. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yes, they were. So would it be music department, I guess?
Yep.
Music department. Hey, Snow White.
Nice.
Spirited, Lyle, Crocodile, Dear Evan Hansen, Aladdin, Greatest Showman, La La Land, and one episode of The Flash TV series. I guess there was a musical episode. But yes, La La Land and Greatest Showman are the two big ones there. And you know what? Honestly, I'll even say it too. Lyle, Crocodile. That movie was delightful.
There you go. And Jeffrey Miller also points out Greatest Showman in the chat. Thank you, Jeffrey Miller.
So you have a movie based on the most popular children's book with two really talented people, directed by a very talented director, produced by a great producer, and with original songs by two great songwriters.
Mm-hmm.
All for Oh, the Places You'll Go. All right.
I mean, they're trying.
I mean, listen, Josh Gad's a great voice actor. Ariana Grande is a great singing talent, and I'm curious to see John Chu pivot over into animation. I think that's very interesting. The co-director, I know I listed Abominable and Open Season, which I know, I don't know how people feel about those movies. But she also is a very talented animation writer, and she actually wrote Monsters, Inc., the first one.
Oh.
I do know that.
Question. Abominable. There were two...
Zendaya is Michi.
There were two Yeti movies that came out back to back. I saw one of them. I don't remember if it was Abominable.
Oh, no. Abominable is not the one with Zendaya's Michi. Abominable is the
Awkwafina?
One with Chloe Bennett.
I think I saw this. I think I did. I can't remember which one I saw.
She was Jill Colton is her name.
Mm-hmm.
So she had the original story for Monsters, Inc.
Nice.
And she, I believe, has been involved in the animation department for she was in the story artist for Toy Story.
Oh.
And both Ted movies.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So dude, what a filmography. What is
all you've done by reading her credits is increase my hype for the movie.
what is the Channing Tatum Abominable Snowman movie? Little Feet or Smallfoot.
Smallfoot. Yep.
Zendaya's Michi was Smallfoot.
Okay.
I did not see Abominable then.
I forget which one I saw. I'd have to go figure that out.
What was Zendaya's Michi in one of them?
Dude, I couldn't tell you a fucking thing about it. I saw it one time in the theater. I can't remember it.
The Small Feet looks very much like the same animation style as Hotel Transylvania. If that helps at all.
I don't think it was that one then. I think I saw Abominable. I think.
I don't know.
Anyway, guys, what do you think about the news about Oh, the Places You'll Go with the new cast and the behind-the-scenes crew? Let us know in the comments as we move on to a story that I'm so happy that this is real. So, you may be familiar with The Other Guys, starring Will Ferrell. You may be familiar with The Nice Guys, starring Ryan Gosling. Well, they are now starring in a film together, completing the trilogy, if you will. And that film is called Tough Guys. This story follows two henchmen who are tired of being disposable and break free from the criminal underworld, rewriting the rules as they build a new life on their own terms. No release date or director at this time. This is from Deadline. I believe it is going to be through Ryan Gosling's new production company, and it's obviously going to be an action comedy film. I'm so fucking excited about this. I cannot wait about this. If you got the first still from the PowerPoint is from their appearance on, I forget which late night show it was, where they played the Knife Guys. It's one of the funniest late night sketches of all time.
It's Fallon or Kimmel.
It's one of those. So good. I think that Ryan Gosling is one of the most underrated comedic actors ever. He's always been great at doing comedy. Will Ferrell obviously is going to go down as one of the legends of this genre. The fact that they're doing this together, I cannot wait. And I hope that they can get a nice director to kind of help hone them in and really complete everything and make it in a nice little bow and wrap it up. But just seeing them riff in a room, that's all you need, is seeing them go back and forth like they do in that sketch on that late night show. Amazing, amazing idea. I love these two actors. I think this is going to be fantastic. What are your thoughts, buddy?
All positive on my end. I've said it on the show many times. Will Ferrell is the comedy actor who just has a direct line to my funny bone. I watch everything that he does. It makes me laugh to an ungodly extent. I find him just absolutely hysterical. Anchorman and Anchorman 2 are two of my favorite movies. And the other guys I think I could quote, Talladega Nights. I mean, you can just look at his filmography and it's just stacked. And Ryan Gosling as well, I think is a great comedic performer as well. You know, to be able to pull off like Ken, the way that he pulled off Ken, takes an insane amount of comedic timing, an insane amount of comedic talent, and understanding for what makes a joke work. I know I'm speaking very highly of the Barbie Ken performance, but it is true. And I think, especially with something like The Nice Guys, which is a movie that I love that should have had like 5 sequels by now, but hasn't. You know, I think he does such a great job with his comedy elements. And I think matching the two of them up together, as they've already done these Knife Guys skits, I would not be shocked if this casting was inspired by someone watching that skit and being like, well, we need to put these two together in a movie stat. And I'm very excited for it. That's all positive on my side.
Listen, same. And talking about Nice Guys, I think it's one of the best movies ever made, honestly. Maybe that's controversial. I love that film. I love Ryan Gosling's performance in it. And not only should it have had 5 sequels and a TV show by now, but it should have gotten Oscar attention. And usually when you're up for an Oscar, whatever other projects you do that year, if they're well received, can really help you. And I will contend that Ryan Gosling getting nominated for La La Land had something to do with The Nice Guys, like because they came out in the same year. And the Nice Guys is such a great film. And going back to the other guys briefly, I know this moment doesn't involve Will Ferrell, but it's a moment that's gone viral before, and it's just, of all the funny things that happen in that movie, like Michael Keaton doing the whisper fighting, like everything, the desk pop, the moment in the beginning when Samuel L. Jackson and The Rock, not only when they jump and go aim for the bushes and die, but when they're doing something heroic and the street vendor who sells like hot dogs or whatever goes, "I love you guys, free hot dogs for life," and everybody cheers, and then it cuts back to him and he goes, "No drinks, I can't do it." And then people start booing and he's like, I can't do it. So good.
I quote that movie probably the most frequently on a daily basis. Samuel L. Jackson's delivery of when his car goes flying through the side of a bus, rolling down the window and just going, "Could someone call 911? Holy shit." It's the best. It's Michael Keaton. It's Michael Keaton's performance. I will contend is one of the best comedic performances I've ever seen in that movie. And people have given me flack saying he doesn't do anything with it, or it's not really like, it's funny, but like one of the best.
It is.
It's so specific, and he absolutely, like, that character is such a specific note to hit, and Michael Keaton executes it flawlessly, and no one's expecting Michael Keaton to be in that role, which is what makes it work.
And that role is up there in terms of like the great comedic performances, right alongside Jesse Plemons and Game Night for me. Like, if
we're right talking like Mount Rushmore of just, because there's a lot of comedic performances that are leads.
Yeah.
Right? If you are just putting a Mount Rushmore of like side comedic performances, supporting comedic performances, I mean, my God, that's 2 right there.
Yeah.
Melissa McCarthy in The First Bridesmaid. I mean, she was nominated for a supporting actress Oscar for a comedy. Do you know what a absolute hurdle that is?
Yeah.
No one gets nominated for the fact that Ryan Gosling was nominated for Ken.
Huge.
Was built on the foundation of Melissa McCarthy being nominated for Bridesmaids. Comedy does not get nominated.
I agree with you 100%. 100%. I'm trying to think of, like, you did 3 for like a Mount Rushmore. There's so many in like the history of comedy. Like, do you do Gene Wilder and Blazing Saddles? Like there's so many, but like for me, just in my personal, Igor and Blazing Saddle or Igor in Young Frankenstein.
I was just about to say Igor and Young Frankenstein's a classic.
But like for me, we're not doing Mount Rushmore. We're going like 20. But like Jason Mewes in Dogma specifically, because like he's great and as Jay and all the stuff. I recently rewatched Dogma because they did the re-release in theaters.
Yeah,
he's fucking good in that movie, dude. It might be his best version of Jay. Like the whole run that he did is fantastic. Like, dude, when he's giving the speech, when he's talking to the lead character at the diner, and she's like, well, "How did you get to Illinois?" And he's like, "Oh, me and Silent Bob, we were watching that movie Weird Science and 16 Candles. We were watching all those fucking John Hughes movies. You know John Hughes?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he goes, "We were watching all these guys' movies, and all these fucking movies take place in Sherman, Illinois." And we're like, "Holy fuck, that's where all the baddies are. Look at these women, dude." So we round up some money, we get in the bus, we start traveling, we get here, and guess what we discovered? What's that? There is no fucking Sherman, Illinois. It's just like... I love
Dogma's such a great movie. But I mean, there's so many other random ones you could pull too. Like I would even maybe consider, not in a Route Mushmore, but Robert De Niro, Meet the Parents, goes underrated.
That was such an unexpected performance from him at the time. It was an
unexpected thing. I mean, you got to throw up Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder.
Yes. No. Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, both of them, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'll throw in one more just for the fun one. I would say, oh my God, why am I blanking on his name right now? Jeff Daniels in Dumb and Dumber.
Yes. Oh, but I would argue that's more of a lead, but yes.
It is, but to be an actor that is not in necessarily from a comedy background, going co-lead head-to-head with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Like, how do you do it? I mean, yeah, I could see the argument for the lead there, but just to go off type in a similar way to like a Robert De Niro, because I would argue Robert De Niro is equally as a lead in Meet the Parents, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, we could sit here all day talking about the greatest comedy performances.
Yes,
There's so many.
We could. But before we move on, I just want to say Jeffrey Miller in the live chat says, just as a person, every Ryan Gosling's co-star have nothing but good things to say about him. That's true. He's very well beloved as a person in the industry as well, which is proof that if you're a good person, you can get nice things. So remember that, people. But guys...
And nice guys.
Hey, what do you guys think about Ryan Gosling and Will Ferrell joining forces for a new comedy? Let us know in the comments as we move on to the next story. And Nick, this one particularly hurts for you. As we know, we have Fantastic Four, The First Steps, coming out in a few weeks. And from the trailer, John Malkovich was in it. And I remember when it was announced that he was going to be in the film, and a lot of theories went around as to who he was playing and all this stuff. Well, it's been officially confirmed by Matt Shakman, the director himself, that, unfortunately, John Malkovich's character was cut from the film. I love that you put that he was in Con Air in here. And it does confirm that he was set to portray the Red Ghost, which is one of the theories as to who he was playing. As one of the earliest villains to battle the Fantastic Four, he was going to appear in the opening sequence showcasing the team's early years as superheroes, where they would battle Red Ghost and his super apes. And the quote from Matt Shakman says, "It was heartbreaking to not include him in the final version of the movie because he's one of my favorite humans." Nick, I'm going to let you run away with this one because you're such a fan. How'd this make you feel?
It made me feel sad, man. I love John Malkovich. And listen, I know Con Air is one of my favorite movies of all time. But I just think he's a terrific actor. I love everything I see John Malkovich in. He's fantastic in the Red movies, as we just mentioned. He does a great Russian accent, and I think it's Rounders. This man is money. He's such a very interesting character actor, and I just love when he shows up in things. So the fact that they got him for a Marvel movie made me very excited for it. We did a thing a while back when we were trying to guess who he was playing on the show, and I think my biggest thing was Red Ghost. I actually recently at a thrift store found a bunch of Fantastic Four comics, and I was explicitly picking out Red Ghost comics because of John Malkovich's inclusion. That's who I thought he was going to be playing. It's really funny. He has a whole team of super-powered apes that also have powers, because basically he was angry at the Fantastic Four and said, I could do what they did with monkeys. and then he went to the same wormhole or whatever it is with the Fantastic Four with a bunch of monkeys, and now he has a bunch of superpowered apes that he's in charge of. And it was great. And there were rumors for a long time that the opening of this movie was going to kind of be showing that sort of monologue. We saw in a CC's Pizza Hut that they fought the first Gargantuan, I think is the name, Gargantua.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gargantos. One of the first, Gargantos is the first villain that Fantastic Four fought. He was featured in that, probably going to be in the movie to some extent. There's been rumors that Paul Walter Hauser, who's in the cast, is going to be portraying Mole Man.
Not just rumors. They did an Entertainment Weekly thing with him today with his photo. He is Mole Man.
Oh, they released a photo?
Yep.
Oh, I wish I knew that. I would have included it. I did not see that.
It was very recent, and I forgot to send it to you, so that's on me.
Oh, gotcha.
But,
well, you can find that online. Well, yeah, so, and I think that was sort of the rumor a while of like, oh, they might be opening up with a little monologue montage to showcase that. And if John Malkovich was not a big part of the movie, that it is a sad thing that he got cut, but it's one thing that I kind of see maybe that montage is running a little bit too long, and they're like, well, we have to cut one of these characters. Where do we go with it? What do we do? But it makes me sad. Red Ghost is a very interesting villain in the Fantastic Four lore, and I think he's one of those characters that I wouldn't necessarily see getting his due. In the same way, like I wouldn't see like Mole Man being the lead villain of a Fantastic Four movie. So, seeing the montage, I thought was a great thing. It's something I've wanted from comic book movies for a while now, because there's so many C-list villains that I love that I would just love to see have their moment. One was Armadillo in the Spider-Man lore. I was so excited when he had a 2-second appearance in Into the Spider-Verse, and I was like, you know what? That's all I needed. They know he exists, and that was sort of me with Red Ghost, and they had John Malkovich. But do you want to know what actually is I've been rambling now about this. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. I'm loving it.
I'm very passionate about John Malkovich. But do you want to know what's kind of the most sad thing about this, though?
What's that?
Matt Shakman and John Malkovich have a history together. I don't know if you knew this.
No.
So I'm going to pull up the article so I can get it specifically correctly here. So Matt Shakman first worked with Malkovich on his feature debut, the 2014 independent crime thriller Cut Bank, which co-starred Liam Hemsworth, Teresa Palmer, Bruce Dern, Billy Bob Thornton, and Michael Stuhlbarg. Shakman spent the 2000s and 2010s building a successful directing career in theater and in television, but struggled for years to put together financing on the film. But he said that once Malkovich signed on, the actor stuck with it for several years and never dropped out. The experience at Cut Bank made losing Malkovich much more difficult for him.
Yeah, that does suck to hear. But at the same time, I think that, one, Malkovich got his money. He did. But also, it shows me that they are truly committed to making the best movie that they possibly can. If they spent the money to get John Malkovich and they watched a version of the movie and said, the scene's got to go.
Yeah.
It honestly gives me hope. And you hate to see it. And I'm sure with John Malkovich's career, he's less likely to take it personally. But it's just one of those things that happens in the industry. It really does. But guys,
well, I think them having a history together probably makes it a little bit easier of like, I feel like it feels less targeted, I feel like there's a way like someone could walk away from that, be like, well, they don't know, I don't know, versus Matt Shakman be able to, with their history, go to him and kind of explain the situation. Like, I doubt Malkovich found out in an email,
Yeah, no, they let him know for sure. But guys, what do you think of John Malkovich being cut from the Fantastic Four, the first steps? Let us know in the comments as we move on to our next story. And this next one is something that a lot of people get excited about. Legend of Zelda. We know that there was a live-action movie in the works, just based off of stuff that we reported ages ago, and being surprised by both the distribution company, because I believe it's not Universal, if I'm not mistaken, but a different company, because Universal was doing the Illumination with like Mario and everything, and Donkey Kong. But the live-action Legend of Zelda movie has found its Link in Zelda. This comes to us from Deadline. Bo Baragasson from King and Conqueror will play Zelda, and Benjamin Evan Ainsworth from The Haunting of Bly Manor and Pinocchio will play Link. It will be directed by Wes Ball from Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which we talked about when that was announced, and it will release in theaters on May 7th, 2027. Now, I have seen The Haunting of Bly Manor. Benjamin is a good actor. They are also very young. I'm not too familiar with their work, though. I think I saw Bo Baragasson in something. She looks familiar. I can't quite place it. It might have been like a.
I had gone through the IMDb to try to pull
Mm-hmm.
what kind of the more popular items were.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really
Was she
recognize
in? Was she in the Fallout or My Old Ass? Was she in one of those?
Bo Bragason.
For some
Hold
reason,
on.
Megan Park is like in my head with her.
King and Conquer, The Radleys, The Jetty, Renegade Nell, Censor, Creeped Out, Moving On, Three Girls, and Through the Dunes is
No.
her repertoire. Upcoming, Legend of Zelda.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Although some stuff you said on there I'm familiar with, like The Jetty, I believe is a Jenna Coleman series, and Nell was a movie for Disney Plus. So she's gotten a lot of work in.
You
and listen,
nailed both of those. Very impressive.
hey, I know my Jenna Coleman. Don't test me on that. But also, look, these are obviously going to be very coveted roles. Wes Ball is a great director. I have perfect faith in these casting choices. And something that a lot of people have wanted to see recently is just the fact that, get more unknowns cast in these roles so that there's no like expectation or weird online chatter going into it. I think it's a good choice. I think it's a smart choice, and I think it's something that you can build a franchise on if the film is successful, given their ages. Nick, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really necessarily grow up playing the Legend of Zelda games. I have not played Breath of the Wild, for example, but it's something I'm actively excited for. I think it's very interesting live action choice. I thought that the Super Mario Bros. Movie, the Illumination I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a great job with it. I'm very excited for the sequel. And I was very shocked that they weren't going an animation route with the Legend of Zelda movie. I felt like there was a lot more potential in it with animation as the medium than live action. But that being said, I don't really know. I haven't seen them in anything. I have not watched Bly Manor, so I can't really speak to there. But it's not something I'm excited for. It's not something I'm not excited for. I really liked Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I think Wes Ball's a great director, and I think he's a great choice to have behind the helm here of this movie. It's just I feel like it's a movie that I wish was in animation.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, I'll be there.
Same. I'll be there too. I know a lot of people are massive fans of that franchise, that game franchise. So I'm sure they're going to come out in spades to watch it. But guys, what do you think of the cast of the live-action Legend of Zelda film? Let us know as we move on to our next story with the most cursed image I've ever seen in my life. Ever.
Yeah.
And here it is. You had fun picking out that one, didn't you?
Oh, it was so good.
Guys, clearly based off this image that we're going to be talking about the new Robert Eggers film Werewolf, starring Aaron Taylor Johnson, Lily Rose Depp, and Willem Dafoe, who's in talks to join the cast. Dude, fuck yeah. Aaron Taylor Johnson will star as the werewolf. Hannah, this movie was made for you. Lily Rose Depp will also, like I said, be joining the cast. It releases Christmas Day 2026. Dude, another great thing in 2026. Oh my God, what a year for me. And it is written by Sean, the writer of The Northman. This comes to us obviously from Variety. After this, I believe, is when Robert Eggers goes on to direct A Christmas Carol, which I cannot wait to see. But listen, put Robert Eggers' name on the movie. I'm going to go fucking watch it. I'm either going to love it or think it's at the worst, it's good. This is clearly his wheelhouse, something like this. I also read in this article, if you read the full article, that it talks about that the dialogue is going to be extremely accurate to the time that it's in. So that's also going to be interesting to see. Great cast, a cast that Robert Eggers clearly trusts because he's worked with them consistently. I think Willem Dafoe and Robert Eggers need to be like Michael Caine and Christopher Nolan, honestly. Like, I want to see that relationship keep thriving. I'm excited for this movie. I cannot wait. The fact that Aaron Taylor Johnson's playing the werewolf has me actually really excited. I think he's going to crush that role. I think it's just something he's excited to do anyway. What are your thoughts on this? Do you like this cast?
All positive. I mean, it's a Nosferatu reunion, as I put in the everyone's little bio there. Now, I do want to point out Lily Rose Depp and Willem Dafoe are in talks to be in it. The only confirmed cast member is Aaron Taylor Johnson. However, I think given the past history, I feel like it's most likely that they will be joining the cast. I think it's a very interesting concept. Here's what I find interesting too. Nosferatu did wonders on Christmas Day. I think it made I don't want to say it was in the four times its production budget, but I think it was in the high threes. it made a lot of money on Christmas Day, so I think it's smart to put this movie out again on Christmas Day. I think it makes sense. And I think it's a great cast, great crew. I will watch whatever Robert Eggers does because he's one of my favorite directors working right now. And I am there. Am I the only one, though, that hopes that Christmas Carol comes out in like October? His last two horror movies come out on Christmas Day. When are we going to drop Christmas Carol? You know,
that'd be so funny. Oh my god.
But no, I'm all positive on my end on this story. Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I would love to drag this out and talk about it more, but the simple truth is we're both excited and we cannot wait, and that is the story. That is the story. Guys, are you excited about the cast of Werewolf, the new film from Robert Eggers? Let us know in the comments as we move on to this next one. And I feel like, right, we're an hour and 15 minutes, 16 minutes into this? This is going to be a fucking funny conversation. So, Judge Dredd is obviously an IP that exists in Hollywood. The original starring Sylvester Stallone and Rob Schneider, which did not have great critical acclaim. But the next one, written by Alex Garland, and some would even argue ghost-directed by Alex Garland, starring Carl Urban, was kind of like a huge cult hit when it came out, being compared to The Raid by many people for its style and action and its story and hyper-violence. People love this movie. It's been a long time since we've gotten a Judge Dredd film, a Dredd film of any kind. Well, there will officially be another Dredd film in the works. It's coming. It's on the way. And it will be directed by Taika Waititi. Very interesting choice. Here's what we have. Hollywood Reporter. Taika Waititi will be directing. Obviously, the director of Thor Ragnarok. Jojo Rabbit will be doing The Shadows, amongst other films. It'll be written by Drew Pearce, who is a fantastic writer, by the way. He wrote Mission Impossible Rogue Nation and The Fall Guy and many other films. I believe he was a writer on Iron Man 3, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, the plot going through, very, the source material. Police officer in the bleak future of metropolis of Mega City 1, part of a law enforcement corps that empowers officers to be the judge, jury, and executioner. The character in his stories were a satire on the judicial system taken to the extreme. Sylvester Stallone and Carl Urban have both portrayed the role, as we said. Pitch said to take more inspiration from the actual comic book source material. Now, the people are going to have opinions on this. Here's what I'll say. When Taika Waititi started making a string of films that were not very good, like Thor: Love and Thunder and Next Goal Wins, both of those have good things in them, but overall weren't very good films, in my opinion. The internet quickly turned on him. And I think part of that is his fault, because there was a sense when he was promoting Love and Thunder and doing other things, there was a sense of kind of arrogance there when he would kind of try to be the tongue-in-cheek self that he is, but also people were just kind of like, I'm getting rubbed the wrong way by this guy. But I was very vocal on this very show about how I didn't like how people suddenly were pretending that he didn't make Jojo Rabbit, that he didn't make Thor Ragnarok, what we do in the Shadows, The Hunt for the Wilder People, these amazing films. Jojo Rabbit especially, he deserved the Oscar win for that screenplay. With that being said, we have talked about often, like when he comes back, he needs to do something that's kind of in his wheelhouse and like really kind of bring himself back, to be viewed well again in the eyes of just the general public. Well, I did not think it would be fucking Judge Dredd at all. And the original film with Stallone kind of has the tone that I think Taika would fit for, but that film isn't very liked. And the reboot, which was much darker, people loved. People loved that film. And I'm thinking that this film will obviously be like a Taika Waititi movie. It'll have the Taika Waititi-isms, right? I'm curious how quickly the audience will reject or accept this. Because when the first trailer comes out, when we see the tone, there are going to be people who love that darker film that are just going to be extremely pissed and then find out it's Taika Waititi and then go on the whole internet raging thing. I say give it a chance. I say this could be Taika Waititi on his comeback tour, going back to the great films that he's made. Yes, it's an IP that I find interesting, but we have Drew Pearce writing. He is a fantastic director at the end of the day. Let's hope he can make it good, and let's hope he can use his style to make something great. It could be another thing like Thor: Love and Thunder and Next Goal Wins, which would not do well and be very good, but I think it's something that we could see, something that could happen. Nick, what do you think about this? Lost audio. Here we go again. Welcome back.
I have a lot of mixed thoughts on this.
Go on.
I love Taika Waititi as a director. I love Hunt for the Wilder People. I love What We Do in the Shadows. One of my favorite comedy movies is What We Do in the Shadows. One of my favorite movies in the past decade has been Jojo Rabbit. It was my number one of the year it came out. I think that is a absolutely fantastic movie. And I think that Taika Waititi had a bit of, I don't want to say an ego problem, but I feel like a lot of the fame came very quickly and he was very successful. And I don't know if he processed that all that correctly. And I think it kind of went to his head a little bit. And he kind of became, I equate it to kind of the turn that people have had on Ryan Reynolds lately, where everyone's kind of like, all right, Ryan, you get it. You got your one thing. Let's go on with it. But I think the Taika Waititi humor still works for me. I didn't really necessarily care for Next Goal Wins, but I did not think it was not a funny movie. There were a lot of bits in it, a lot of jokes that really worked. Like his writing is still very quippy. And that's the same thing with like Thor: Love and Thunder. Was kind of all over the place, but when you let Taika do like the whole sequence on Gore's planet, I thought was I really liked that sequence when you actually let Taika when Taika Waititi was doing his stuff, but then you have like the King Bow, and that was a little much, So I think it's kind of finding that tonal balance, which seeing like something like Jojo Rabbit, I'm like, he still has it in him, As for Judge Dredd, I have a faint recalling of seeing the Carl Urban one, and I don't remember it being funny.
Mm-hmm.
So I am curious to see if the comics do take on more of that dark humor tone and how that relates to kind of Taika Waititi's kind of quippiness. So I'm curious to see that kind of interplay happen. And I hope that, he kind of put some effort into it. I felt like Thor: Love and Thunder was not his best directorial effort. It felt very much like an afterthought, like he was just trying to get through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, wasn't he supposed to be working on a Star Wars movie?
Yeah, there's no way that's still happening.
That's not happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was there something with him in an Akira movie, or is that another director?
Yes, but that got scrapped. Warner Brothers stopped developing Akira entirely.
Oh, boy. All right. So he's just been trying to find his next project. So maybe that break and not seeing Taika for a bit, maybe that'll just in the long run be a little bit more beneficial. I don't know. And don't forget, we also do have his Young Frankenstein series.
Yes, and as an actor, he was on Our Flag Means Death, and he was in...
Our Flag Means Death.
And he was also in the Ryan Reynolds, Sean Levy movie. What was it called?
Yes, Free Guy.
Free Guy. He was in Free Guy as well. So he had been...
It was a bit much in that one.
Yeah, but he had been inactive in front of the camera, so maybe that helped. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, overall, I don't want to write Taika Waititi off for 2 movies.
Same.
But the fact that they were back to back, it does leave that kind of sour taste in your mouth where like he's at the point now where he does have to win me back.
Yeah, for sure. And like Jojo Rabbit, honestly, it gets you like 7 bad movies. Like he can go a little bit worse. So and also be like, guys, Jojo Rabbit. Like, come on.
Yeah, but like
then
Jojo
eventually
Rabbit,
that
like
could
he's got it.
Yeah. For sure. But guys, what are your thoughts on Taika Waititi directing a Judge Dredd film? Very curious about this as well. Let us know in the comments as we move on to our next story. And this is a fun little break. The Emmy nominations were announced. We don't talk about TV too much here just because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world of movies on its own, and we're very busy and we don't get to watch much TV unless it's somehow tied to a movie, interestingly. But nonetheless, the Emmys are a big deal. I love the bullet point you hit here of, I'm not typing all that. Here's the link. That's beautiful. And I have the Emmy nominations pulled up here. If you give me just a moment to recall them. Okay. The nominees for Outstanding Drama Series are Andor, The Diplomat, The Last of Us, Paradise, The Pit, Severance, Slow Horses, and The White Lotus. Outstanding Comedy Series, Abbott Elementary, The Bear, Hacks, Nobody Wants This, Only Murders in the Building, Shrinking, The Studio, and What We Do in the Shadows. And Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series, Adolescence, Black Mirror, Dying for Sex, Monsters, and The Penguin, good for The Penguin. Outstanding television movie: Bridget Jones' Mad About a Boy, The Gorge, Mountainhead, Nanas, and Rebel Ridge. Good for Rebel Ridge, and yeah.
I have thoughts on a few of these. Is that what we're doing with this segment, or what are we? Are we just running through these for information?
I'm not doing all of them. Give me just a couple more. I want to get to the writing, directing, and the acting.
Yep. Go ahead.
Okay. Lead actress in a drama series: Kathy Bates for Matlock. Good for her. Sharon Horgan for Bad Sisters, Britt Lower for Severance, Bella Ramsey for The Last of Us, and Kerry Russell for The Diplomat. Outstanding lead actor in a drama series: we have Sterling K. Brown for Paradise, Gary Oldman for Slow Horses, Pedro Pascal for The Last of Us, Adam Scott for Severance, and Noah Weil for The Pit. Shocked by Diego Luna here. Very shocked by that. Outstanding lead actress in a comedy series: Uzo Abuja from The Residents. I pronounced that so wrong, I'm sorry. Kristen Bell from Nobody Wants This, Quinta Brunson from Abbott Elementary, Ayo Edebiri from The Bear, Gene Smart for Hacks. Lead actor in a comedy series: Adam Brody for Nobody Wants This, Seth Rogen in The Studio, Deserved, Jason Segel for Shrinking, Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building, and Jeremy Allen White for The Bear. Let's see, we'll skip some of these. Okay, here's what I'll point out. The supporting actors or actresses in a drama are just Severance and The White Lotus and One Paradise. And then for supporting actress, it's Severance, White Lotus, The Paradise, and The Pit. But it's mostly all the same shows. That's one thing that annoys me about the Emmys, personally. Let's get to the writing. Where was it? Just a second. Guest actor in a drama series: Forrest Whitaker got in there for Andor. Good for him. That's so cool.
Breathe it in. Listen,
if the big takeaway is huffing gas and fighting fascism is back, then I think he's got this award in the bag. So we'll have to see. But where is it? Here you go. Outstanding directing for a drama series: Andor for the episode Who Are You? Yes. The Pit for 6 p.m., The Pit for 7 a.m., Severance for however you pronounce that, Severance for Gold Harbor, Slow Horses for Hello Goodbye, and The White Lotus for Amor Fati. And directing for a comedy, you have The Bear for Napkins, Hacks for A Slippery Slope, Mid-Century Modern for Here's to You, The Rehearsal for Pilot's Code, and The Studio for The Oneer. And writing, you have Dan Gilroy's episode Welcome to the Rebellion on Andor. You have The Pit episode 2 p.m., The Pit episode 7 a.m., Severance, Cold Harbor, Slow Horses, Hello Goodbye, The White Lotus, Full Moon Party. And lastly, we'll do writing for a comedy series. You have Abbott Elementary for Back to School, Hacks for A Slippery Slope, The Rehearsal for Pilot's Code, Somebody Somewhere for AGG, The Studio for The Promotion. Oh my God, that's such a good episode. I think it's the pilot. And What We Do in the Shadows for the finale. So, you said you have thoughts on these. Give them to me.
Oh man. All right. Well, one, good for Andor, good for Penguin. Penguin did not get a drama series.
It got best limited series.
It did, limited series. Great for Andor. Well deserved, especially after their big old marketing push was saying, "Hey guys, this is the good one." You know.
Yeah.
So it's glad to see that they were able to back that up a little bit. I have not watched season 2 of The Last of Us, but man, can I tell you, The Pit has been on my radar as I really want to watch this show.
Same, dude, same.
I've heard nothing but positive things about The Pit, and I am dying to check it out.
I think it's
Slow Horses. Slow Horses is on season 5, and they're renewed through season 7. What is Gary Oldman doing over there? That's what I want to know.
How slow are these horses?
How slow are these horses? About 7 seasons worth. Outstanding comedy series. I think my biggest takeaway is, why are we... The Bear is not a comedy.
The age-old question.
Last season, they tried to... Season 3, they tried to instill a lot of comedy into it. Oh, wait, would this be for season 3?
Yeah, whatever season's airing right now, it's not for this one.
Season 4 just came out.
Yeah, so it's season 3.
Okay, they tried to add a lot of comedy, I felt like, to justify their season 2 nominee. And season 3 to me has been their weakest season. Season 4's I've been enjoying. I have 1 episode left. It has not reached the heights of 1 and 2 for me, but I think it's a bit of an improvement over season 3. But still, even season 3 is not a comedy series. I will tell you that much. I had another thought on something. I'm trying to run through them now, though. Lead actress in a drama series. Great to see Britt Lauer for Severance. Outstanding lead actor, I think, is very tight race. That'll be interesting to see who takes it. I would not be shocked if it's Noah Wyle for The Pitt. I think The Pitt is going to be the one that may sweep this award. I would not be shocked.
I think The Pitt's going to win a lot.
I agree. I think that Jean Smart is a lock-in for outstanding lead actress in a comedy series. She has taken it the last few years through Hacks. I would be shocked if someone sneaks in there with it. Lead actor in a comedy series. What I wanted to pull about this one, which I thought was interesting. Martin Short got nominated for Only Murders in the Building, and Steve Martin did not. And I feel like they've both been nominated in the past.
They have.
So I am very interested by that. I will never be upset about Martin Short being nominated for a comedy series. I would put him on my Mount Rushmore of comedy actors. I love him. I think he's absolutely fantastic. Shout out to Kristen Milioti for The Penguin. Naturally. Would love to see that win.
Same.
Would love to see that win. Same for Colin Farrell with The Penguin, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
To your point about supporting actress in a drama series and supporting actor, it all being White Lotus and Severance, I think is very funny and very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Other people exist, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But the one that I thought was just the most comical was, where was it? I will find you. Outstanding guest actor in a comedy series. I don't remember if you read this off or not.
No.
But here are the nominees for Best Outstanding Guest Actor in a Comedy Series. John Bernthal for The Bear. Bryan Cranston, The Studio. Dave Franco, The Studio. Ron Howard, The Studio. Anthony Mackie, The Studio. Martin Scorsese, The Studio. They almost had a full studio sweep in this nominee.
Yep.
That being said, I would love to see Martin Scorsese take it.
It would be so funny.
I feel like I would love for it to go to Dave Franco.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I thought he did a great job with it. But, I mean, I think that's all of my thoughts. I haven't really watched. I think they picked the great episodes of Andor to be nominated. And I would love to see Andor take home a few wins here. I don't know if they took any from season 1.
I think they took some technical ones, which they're going to take some technical ones again.
So I'd love to see it. I love that The Rehearsal's getting some nominations. Season 2 of The Rehearsal's absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend it to everyone. But yeah, those are kind of my quick thoughts on it. I hope, and I do hope that, what's his name? Tremel Tillman from Severance. I hope he takes everything that he's nominated for, and I hope he takes stuff that he's not nominated for, because he should just be in everything. Yes,
absolutely. As a fan, like, obviously, I know there's a lot of shows that are in the zeitgeist that deserve the nominations they got, so I'm not saying that they were snubbed. I'm not saying that. Was surprised by the lack of acting nominations for Andor other than Forrest Whitaker, and I think Alan Tudyk got a voice acting nomination.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But there's no Diego Luna, even though Pedro Pascal got nominated and he's in 2 episodes of the season. There's no Adria Horna, no Stellan Skarsgård, nothing for the actress that plays Clea, or Mon Mothma for her speech. I thought maybe, that might do it. Listen, I'm not going to complain. It got Best Drama Series and Best Writing, Best Directing, and a lot of technical ones. I'll take it. The one that shocked me the most was the Diego Luna one. That was shocking to me.
That was a little crazy. I wonder, dramas, what was it? Who else is nominated against it? Lead actor, Sterling K. Brown, Paradise, Gary Oldman, Slow Horses, Pedro Pascal, Last of Us, Adam Scott, Severance, Noah Wyle. Yeah, Pedro Pascal not being heavily included in Last of Us just feels like, well, Pedro Pascal can be nominated, so we should.
Yeah, and it also might have to do with, and if anyone corrects me in the comments or the live chat, please do. I'm pretty sure how Emmy voting works is you submit the episodes for like an episode for consideration, which is why like a different episode for writing on Andor is nominated for directing. But in this case,
so his 1 episode, 2 episode appearance. Was this for season? This would be for season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so basically they say, hey, he's the lead of our show, contracted through, and was last season. Here's the episode we're submitting, and all the voters have to do is watch that episode. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense in that regard, but 2 episodes. And look, I'm sure he acted his ass off in it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I I just wanted to see more Star Wars. Is that too much to ask? That's where I'm at. But no. Very cool to see the nominations. I'm curious to see what's going to win. And I'm sure we'll talk about the winners once we get there. But guys, what did you think of the Emmy nominations? Let us know as we move on to our next thing, which is the B-roll. Gotta love bringing back bits.
I always love that name. I was happy I was able to bring it back for this segment here.
Me too. First up, man. Lilo and Stitch officially crosses $1 billion, which we'll get to when we get into the box office section of the show, when we talk about last weekend's box office, because Friday. But yeah, this is something we kind of knew was going to happen. We got worried it wouldn't for a second. I only say worried because I hardcore predicted that this would happen. But
and it got close. It was close there for a while, and it was like that it was on that line of like, it needs a little bit of a bump, and then it'll get it, and it got it. And that's great to see.
Good for them. We were almost done with live-action remakes, Nick. We were almost done.
Well, I think the more interesting story about this is that Lilo and Stitch and Moana 2 were both set to be Disney Plus releases, and both grossed over $1 billion at the box office.
Yes.
Disney just almost left $1 billion on the table.
Twice.
And
then you also got Warner Brothers with Evil Dead Rise and
but that didn't make $1 billion. The fact that two things made $1 billion is crazy to me.
Yes, of course. I just meant in terms of like financial success.
What was supposed to be there? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, Evil Dead Rise made a lot more than it would have made on streaming, but the fact that it was profitable is just a benefit.
Oh yes, for sure. Next up on the B-roll, I'm going to let you take this one as soon as I announce it. Agent Cleary will be back in the Wonder Man series. Nick, first of all, remind us who Agent Cleary is for people that don't know, and then let us know how excited you are.
So Agent Cleary is played by Arian Moayed, who I don't know if I pronounced that last name correct, so I apologize there. But he was in Succession, is maybe where you recognize him from. And he first appeared in Spider-Man No Way Home. He was the agent who was interrogating Peter Parker and Aunt May and MJ and Ned. And I thought he just had a very strong... He was just an actor. I like when B actors come into movies. I like when to see a character actor. B actor was not the right term there. But it just felt like he was just having fun and having a good time, and he was just being quippy, and it was just a character I ended up really liking in the project. And I was like, oh man, it's fun. I would love to see that character show up in more things, but he's probably relegated to being in the Spider-Man realm. Well, then it came out that he was going to be in Miss Marvel. And I was so excited for Miss Marvel because I was like, oh man, they brought back this random character that I liked. I don't know how other people felt about it, but it felt very specific where I'm like, this is a win for Nick. And he was in a few episodes of Miss Marvel. And again, really enjoyed the character. And I got so excited because I was like, oh man, I would love for him to be a Skrull. We haven't gotten that yet, but that would just be the icing on the cake because I love Skrulls. And just seeing this news about Wonder Man, and it just gets me more excited, right? Because we already have confirmed that Ben Kingsley is going to be reprising his role as the Mandarin, aka hold on, I'm going to nerd out for a minute. Trevor Slattery.
There you go.
In Wonder Man, which he was a wonderful surprise in Shang-Chi, and I thought was a great addition to the film, and I love what they did with his character. So I was very excited that he was going to be in Wonder Man. I believe, is Bob Odenkirk in Wonder Man?
Yeah, I believe he plays his agent, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he's in. Yeah, Bob Odenkirk. And now you're throwing in Agent Cleary, which makes me just wonder, what the fuck is Wonder Man about? Because I think does he work for Damage Control?
Yeah.
Like, why is Damage Control getting involved? This is a special presentation. I feel like it's supposed to be isolated, but we have so many returning MCU characters. This was news for nobody but me. And Arian, if you're watching, you're not. I'm so fucking excited that Agent Cleary is going to be back. And you're going to go and watch these movies or rewatch and look up clips from this character and be like, why is this guy so excited about this character coming back? And I don't have an answer for you other than I just vibed with the dude.
Top 5 speech you've ever given on the show.
So there we have it.
I love it. Thank you for that. Next up on the B-roll.
Wait. What are your thoughts on Agent Cleary coming back for Wonder Man, Dalton?
Yeah, I'm excited. That's my thoughts. I think I lost your mic again. Talk for me. Yep. Back it out. This happens sometimes, as we've seen on the episode.
I got so excited about Agent Cleary that I peaked.
Yes, correct.
The ultimate compliment.
Absolutely. Anyway, guys, next up on the B-roll, some of the DC social media accounts have updated their logos and profiles, hinting that there could be news regarding them in the future. The Wonder Woman account posted this. Looks very cool. We also got some new updates from the Harley Quinn account, the Green Lantern account. Basically, DC Studios is here to fucking work ever since Superman came out. Thoughts on the new logo?
Yeah, cool, neat. Something very interesting was happening on online where James Gunn basically did this interview, which we're gonna get into some elements of it post this story, but was basically just saying that they're wanting to cast someone who's been kind of working in TV for the Wonder Woman role, similar to they were citing Millie Alcock's Supergirl. And everyone was saying everyone's like, hey, have you ever heard of the show Andor? Because everyone wants Adriana Arona. I think I just butchered that pronunciation.
It's all right.
But they want her to be playing Wonder Woman, which I think is a great casting choice. I think Charlie Fraser would make a great Wonder Woman as well. And we named some other people the other day, but those were the two main ones where I'm like, I am pro both of these choices. But a lot of people were saying, have you ever seen Andor? And everyone's like, guys, Diego Luna would make a terrible Wonder Woman. What are you talking about? But no, I think it shows that they're here to mess around. They are not here to mess around, and that they're wanting to run these active social media campaigns, and I'm here for it. And I would not be shocked if we get Wonder Woman news in the very near future.
Oh, same, for sure. Speaking of what you mentioned with the James Gunn interview, he was recently on Happy, Sad, Confused, the Josh Horowitz podcast, where I listened to a lot of it earlier today. I still have to finish it. Amazing podcast, by the way, but the James Gunn episode's really good. He talks a lot about stuff on Superman. He talks about other people that auditioned. He talks about notes that people gave him, like other filmmakers. He specifically said, and you can find it, because I love being vindicated. He said, I had a bunch of filmmaker friends watching early cuts and give me good notes, and the most helpful person was Drew Goddard. Fuck yeah, he was, because he's the man. I love Drew Goddard. But anyway, I'm constantly vindicated that Drew Goddard fucking rules, okay? I'm just saying. Anyway, one of the things he brought up is he talked about Clayface, the new film that's going to start production soon, and he described it as a complete horror film, and also talked about how films in the DCU are not going to necessarily be the same tone as Superman. He wants it to be different, but part of the same world. And with a Mike Flanagan script and the director of the new, the James McAvoy remake. Oh my gosh, what's that movie called?
Speak No Evil.
Speak No Evil. With that director coming in to make it. Not shocked to hear that it's a horror film, but how he describes it is like a complete body horror film. I'm excited about that. Are you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Clayface is one that I keep forgetting is actually going to be in the DCU, because it does not feel like it should be this early in a DC universe. But listen, if it's not connected to anything and it's just a really great movie, I'm not going to complain about it. I think Mike Flanagan's a terrific writer, and I'm very excited to see this. And I do like that. I think it's very, on the flip side of what I just said about it being too early, I think it's also a great choice to show how different the movies can be.
100%.
And I think that's a great decision right there.
Absolutely. More from that interview. He officially confirmed that Luca Guadagnino will not be directing Sergeant Rock after all. So we knew that the project did die close to filming, but basically it was, he might come back after he does his next movie. They just weren't ready or whatever. They were blowing a lot of stories, but like the equipment got wet. Fucking okay. But James Gunn in this interview straight up said that he's like, I'm excited about Sergeant Rock. I really like the script and the story that we have, but no, Luca will not be involved, period. So Luca is done. You can't have everything nice in the world, Nicholas. This was one of the most fascinating fucking things that came out recently when they were talking about this, and I am sad we're not getting it, but James Gunn does seem like that they are committed to making Sergeant Rock. So what were your thoughts on that?
It was definitely shocking, because I feel like there's been a lot of behind-the-scenes turmoil with it, and Luca had been sticking it out for a lot of it. So to see him dropping was very interesting to me. And I don't remember the exact order, but we had Daniel Craig at the beginning, and then did it go to Colin Farrell or did it go to Jeremy Allen White after?
Jeremy Allen White was rumored, but it never got officially.
And then Colin Farrell was
officially cast
as it. So I am curious to see if he's still going to be involved in it.
Yeah,
because I felt like that was a situation of Colin Farrell wanting to work with Luca,
mm-hmm.
not Colin Farrell wanting to be in DC again because
Mm-hmm.
he's already the Penguin and has that commitment there. So I'm curious to see what this project move forward with. I'm curious to see who they pull because Luca's not an easy name to follow, and Luca's involvement makes me feel like there's a very specific stylistic vision that they were going for with this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see who they bring in to replace him. And I hope it's all good. I hope it was just maybe a scheduling conflict. I would hate to see that because I love the talent that James Gunn's been able to be pulling into the DC universe thus far. So I would hate to have that kind of bad stamp of like a bad taste in someone's mouth early on with it. But them's the breaks. That's business. I'm very sad to see that he's not directing it, but I'm very interested in the project. I love the little bits we got of that whole squad in Creature Commandos. So
yeah,
we'll see.
No, for sure. And last little part of the B-roll and part of that interview with James Gunn, he mentioned that the next Superman movie will not be a direct sequel. Specifically, what he mentioned is the next movie involving Superman is not a direct sequel. He did say, he goes, it's not going to be a Batman versus Superman. It's not going to be World's Finest. It's not like that. But it's not a direct Superman sequel. It's just a movie where he's heavily important in the story. Very curious as to what that is because he wouldn't elaborate. Josh tried to get him to say what it was and he wouldn't. So a lot of people are speculating it could be like a Superman, Supergirl team-up movie. At first, I thought it might be Superman versus the Authority, but in that same interview, James Gunn talked about how the Authority is just kind of dead, and the writer that they had writing Authority is now working on a new DCU project that's really turning out well, that he wants him to focus on that. And Josh tried to push what that was, and James Gunn was like, no. So that kept happening as well. But, I'm curious as to what this will be. I really, it could be anything, but do you have any thoughts as to what this movie could be?
Why can't we just get a Superman sequel?
For the love of God.
Why is it always got to be something, But, no, I think they have a plan for the DC universe. So I think that Superman's involvement in a larger project makes sense. I really do feel like it's going to be a Justice League movie and that James Gunn is going to be directing that. I can see him taking it upon himself to want to direct the Justice League movie. Or, so I think it would make sense for Superman to be then the lead of a Justice League movie that has been built up over a few movies with Superman appearances sprinkled throughout, Because I would genuinely be shocked if we don't get a Superman appearance in Supergirl.
Oh, yeah, same.
Like, even if it's just a scene equivalent to, like, how she appeared in the movie.
Yeah.
Something quick. I feel like they're going to do a great job of actually integrating Superman into the universe. Not in the same way they did with, like, Shazam where his head's cut off. Like, I do expect to see David Corcoran's went in appearances like that.
Dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, I see that being a thing. So... I am curious what that means because I would have guessed World's Finest maybe do a Batman movie, do a Superman movie, and let's have them team up fighting something. But I do feel like it because he said his next movie, James Gunn, and I feel like that is a Justice League movie.
I don't know.
So
we'll see.
What is your guess? What is your?
I feel like it's something random, like. The equivalent of Guardians of the Galaxy in this. That's not the Suicide Squad, obviously.
I feel Suicide Squad kills Superman. Are we gonna get the oh my god, not Deathstroke. Bloodsport versus Superman movie after all?
Yeah, maybe. But it would be interesting to see. We're gonna have to see what it ends up being. But he did say he's like Josh Horowitz was like he's a great interviewer. He was like, is this your next movie that we just talked about? Is this something that's going to be announced soon? And James Gunn went, yes. And he went, really, sooner rather than later? And James Gunn went, sooner. And he went, this week? And James Gunn went, no. And he's like, well, fine, I just had to ask.
Okay. Don't shoot the messenger here. I'm just trying to interview.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you what you can give me.
Exactly. Before we move on, Caitlin Short in the live chat says, one of my favorite things James Gunn has said recently is that people don't have superhero movie fatigue. They have mediocre movie fatigue. That is 100% correct. I agree with him entirely. It's something that we've mentioned on the show too, as well as other, that's not an uncommon thing amongst people in the industry, but it does need to be said by more people like James Gunn who have those platforms. It's the same thing that happened to the Western. Westerns didn't, get not cool, just they started sucking for a couple years in a row and people got sick of it. It happens. And as long as they keep making great films that people like to see and they're not tired of, they'll come out and see a superhero, absolutely. For our last section of the show, guys, we're now going to get to what we call Off the Reel. And what these are, well, actually, it's not the last section because we have the box office, but the technical last section. Off the Reel is basically whenever Nick and I would normally communicate through the week where we have a question about movies that we wanted to talk about. Instead of talking about it, we put it in a little Google document as in the form of a question, and then we save it for the show now because we're doing one long episode a week. Nick, the first one off the reel is this. Do you think that James Gunn wanted to direct Superman? And where we came up with this is, naturally, he directed The Suicide Squad after Guardians of the Galaxy 3. He did Peacemaker and Creature Commandos. He usually thrives in like the unwanted stepchildren of characters and really makes you love and care about them. When he took the job to direct or to run the DC universe, David Zaslav was very clear that like Superman is the first movie. Like even before James Gunn was hired, he was like, we're making a fucking Superman movie again. And James Gunn went on to write the film and obviously eventually direct the film, a film that I think is really good. It has some issues, but I think it's really good. And the question is, since it's not really type of his sensibility, I'm posing it to you. Do you think James Gunn wanted to direct Superman?
I do not think that James Gunn wanted to direct Superman.
Ooh, give it to us. Why?
I think, and now I do want to clarify a little bit. I think it's a great movie. I've seen it twice now. I have loved it both times. And he poured his heart and soul in as a director, as a writer, as a studio head. I think that he gave this project his all. I am not in any way, shape, or form undermining that fact and saying he did. But I think that Superman is not a character inclined to James Gunn's, what he likes to write, what he likes to work with, what he likes to do characters with. Because to me, I think some of the standouts for the movies were like the Justice Gang, right? Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, I think was the standout of the movie. And I think that all the characters that were more inclined to his writing sensibilities were the standouts of the movie. And I don't know if Superman was that. I think what this overall was the equivalent of when you have a big name who comes in to direct a pilot episode of your series to set the tone. It's David Fincher directing the pilot episode of House of Cards. It's what Chloe Zhao is going to be doing with the new Buffy reboot. I think that they wanted Superman to be the first movie. They hired James Gunn as a studio head for his specific vision, for his specific styling, for his specific capabilities. And I think that they needed him to set the tone for what this universe would be. So I feel like it was a requirement for him to direct Superman. Now, that being said, I don't think he would have directed if he really didn't want to. Who's going to say no to directing a Superman movie?
Right.
But I feel like this was a situation of James Gunn as a director, as a writer, as a now studio head needed to be the one to direct the first movie in this universe.
Great argument. It's a really good argument. I think he didn't know he wanted to direct Superman until he started writing it. That's kind of how I feel about it. I think at first he didn't, which is why he was only attached as the writer for a while. And then I think as he got into it, as he found it, he was like, no, I can do this. I can do this. And I think eventually he kind of hyped himself up into like, no, I got this. I can fucking do this. And I think that's what happened. But I do agree with you that he's kind of directing the pilot of a long show, that long show being the new DCU, and the tone needs to be set. I do agree that had something to do with it, absolutely. But I would not be shocked if they make a Superman sequel and he doesn't direct it. Like a direct sequel.
Yeah. But so let me ask you this, because there's the story, right? Because he was fired before Guardians of the Galaxy 3 started filming, and then he did the Suicide Squad before Guardians 3.
Mm-hmm.
And the story goes, right, that he was brought in, called to DC, and they put, like, what was it, playing cards or pictures of all of their characters onto the table and said, pick one. They're like, yeah, we know we got a Superman movie in development. If you want to do Superman, you could do Superman. And he picked the Suicide Squad, right? Something more into what he likes to write, what he likes to work with. He said Suicide Squad has been one of his favorite comic runs of all time. He grew up reading them. He even gave a cameo to, I think it's Austenberg is the last name, John Austenberg, I might be butchering that name, but he cameos in his movie because of how much he loves Auslander.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right. Regardless, I would almost make the argument that if he picked 5 characters, I don't think Superman is one of the 5.
Fair. And he even talked about in that Josh Horowitz interview that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
They said that in 2018, they asked him, will you direct Superman? And he was like, I don't know. I'd rather direct something else. And then that's where that conversation happened, where they put out all the characters and he did Suicide Squad. But, it's an interesting thing to think about. It was a good thing. Caitlin Short adds in the live chat, I think he needed to direct this to get season 2 of Peacemaker. Listen.
And Creature Commandos.
Listen, he's in charge of greenlighting Peacemaker, so I don't think he needed to. I think he just could have done it if he wanted. But,
I'm curious, is he directing some of Peacemaker season 2?
I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure.
Did he write it?
I think he wrote it. I think he's directing some of it, but not as much as he did of season 1.
Yeah, because season 1 was pretty much a majority was him, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting.
Very interesting. Moving on to our next off the reel here. I love this. This is something that we've seen online and just something that we wanted to talk about as well. Who is the biggest hater? Lex Luthor, specifically in the 2025 Superman, or Topher Grace's Venom from Spider-Man 3? That's an interesting question. It's also a question that we put in our polls on the YouTube channel in our community tab, which, as I'm speaking in elongated sentences, I'm hoping that Nick is pulling up because I do not have it pulled up.
Nick is exactly doing that very thing. Do you want me to give the results?
Please.
So we asked the people in our YouTube comments, our community poll here, who's the bigger hater? I asked for people to vote and defend their answer in the comments. No one commented, but it's fine because we got some clicks anyway. Out of a total of 25 votes, 72% voted for Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor, with 28% going for Topher Grace Eddie Brock. I disagree.
I was going to say the same thing. Listen. Lex Luthor is a hater. And here's the thing. In the performance of Nicholas Hoult is where you get the hate. That is where, in Superman, dude, when he is giving the speech about envy and how it's I'm paraphrasing, but he's like, it's the savior of humanity. It's my calling to annihilating you. And then at the end, before Crypto gets him, I think he calls him a conniving clown, which is just such a fucking thing to say.
Just throughout the movie, when his insults start so elaborately at the beginning and just devolve into basically the end, he just wants to call him stupid.
Yeah.
It's just pure unbridled rage behind his eyes. And I thought Nicholas Hoult did an I didn't think Nicholas Hoult had that in him.
But. Did Nicholas Hoult ask fucking God in a church to kill his nemesis? Topher Grace's Venom went to church and asked God, by the way, not to kill Spider-Man. Fuck Spider-Man. He asked God to kill Peter Parker. And he did it directly. It wasn't like a roundabout, we need to catch him on the wire saying the words. He said, God, I want you to kill Peter Parker. That is some next level hate right there, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. We lost your audio. Of course. He'll come back. Come on, buddy. What were you saying?
Meanwhile, Lex does not even know that Clark Kent is Superman,
Ah.
nor did Eddie Brock know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. But I feel like the rage is so much more when it's targeted not toward the superhero, but just the person behind the mask.
Yep.
And then he gets the Venom symbiote, and he's like, you know what? Screw Spider-Man too. I hate that guy. And it's the same thing with Jim Carrey's Riddler in Batman Forever. And it's kind of a plot hole in the movie if you think about it, because he comes in and Jim Carrey's Edward Nygma really just doesn't like Bruce Wayne. And then all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I don't like Batman either. And so I get the argument. I think in terms of an on-screen portrayal, Nicholas Hoult gives the better hatred performance
100%.
toward Superman as Lex Luthor.
100%.
However, just the idea of asking God to kill a person who really, in the context of the movie, has not done anything too extreme.
Other than just show that Eddie was using fake photos.
Yes. Eddie Brock is the bigger hater. I don't think there's an argument.
The poll be damned. The poll be damned. Guys, we're going to move on to our last off the reel here. And Nick, this is a movie night's record. We are getting to our thumbnail main topic story 2 hours and 1 minute into the show. That's how you know that life is good.
Welcome to the new live show.
Welcome to the new live show. And that off the reel question is, did streaming kill the lasting legacy of Stranger Things? This conversation kind of came from you and I and Kyler and a couple other people talking basically about streaming itself and how we were talking about television and we were talking about the Harry Potter thing, about how they're going to shoot seasons 1 and 2 back to back, and it's actually going to be cool to get like 2 seasons of television back to back. The Pit is doing the same thing. The Pit is going to have a season next year when it had a season this year. And basically, TV used to be a thing where you got, in 10 years of TV, you could get 9 to 10 seasons, 24 episodes each. With Stranger Things, you're getting 5 seasons in 9 years, and it's about 8 to 13 episodes each. Way less television. And the reason why the legacy question came up is because, we were talking about like a joke that I made when we first brought this up is, the show 24, where each episode is an hour in 24 hours. What if it was just called 6? And you did 6 episodes, and you didn't get season 2 for 3 years. That's what living in the streaming era is like. Now, one thing I'll give Stranger Things is it did have the writer's strike and COVID to deal with, but streaming itself still has this thing of waiting years in between seasons, which slowly looks like it's coming to an end, thankfully. And the reason why we bring this up, too, talking about the lasting legacy of Stranger Things, is something very important to point out, which we pointed out way earlier in the show. Stranger Things is might be the biggest hit ever for streaming, an original streaming show. It was one of the first shows. When I'm talking it hit the zeitgeist, my mother, who at the time in 2016 I didn't really talk to about entertainment stuff, asked me if I had watched Stranger Things. That's crazy stuff. Like, that's how popular the show got. And it's because it was at the peak of the streaming bubble when it was all first happening. Now, streaming is kind of becoming a thing where, yes, it's easily accessible, but it's also incredibly annoying. And things that are getting popular, things that people are going back to, is long-form TV, less budget TV, less event TV. Just give me TV that has good written stories every year. That's what people are craving again. Funny how history repeats itself. So, everyone agrees that Stranger Things is a great show. Everyone agrees that Stranger Things has gotten some great stars. Nobody in this universe works harder than Joseph Quinn's agent. And that's mostly because of Stranger Things. And it's very well deserved. Joseph Quinn's a great actor. But when you look at the legacy of a show like Friends, which I know it's a comedy and it's different, but 10 years, 10 seasons of Friends, 24 episodes each of those 10 years, everyone will remember Friends fondly forever. There are people who don't like the show, but there's no doubting the legacy of that show and how important that show is when it comes to the history of television. Yes, I think Stranger Things has earned its spot on that, considering how fucking great the 4th season was as well. But will streaming be the thing that kills Stranger Things when you look at the history of television and you look at all of the big stamps like The Wire, The Sopranos, Game of Thrones? Will Stranger Things fail to reach those heights simply because it kept falling in and out of the pop cultural zeitgeist every few years? And we mentioned earlier on the show too, I forget about Stranger Things until it's coming back, and I love it each time. It's great, but there's no yearning for it. There's no counting down the clock for it, because who knows when I'm going to get it again. It could be a year, it could be 4 fucking years. It's something that's really aggravating for a lot of consumers now. So, it begs the question, Nicholas, I'm going to throw it over to you now. Did streaming, the thing that created Stranger Things, also kill its chances at a lasting legacy in the history of television?
It's such a hard thing to think about, right? Because when you look at something like you were using the Friends argument, right? Friends and Stranger Things, right? Let's say 10 years have been a part of our lives, or part of the people watching it lives for 10 years. But Friends was a constant. It was consistent. They knew that they had friends every year. Stranger Things, it's a year, it's 2 years, it's 3 years, and again, the strikes and everything with that, being a part of it is fine. It's one thing. But just the fact that it comes in and out, and I would say the same thing happened with like Squid Game. Squid Game came in, and now granted, Squid Game was meant to be a 1 season thing, and then they tried to expand it, so there was a delay there. But I feel like by the time season 2 rolled around, people had lost interest, and they quickly turned around season 3, and people had also still had limited interest in it. I haven't even watched it, and Squid Game I thought was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of the lasting legacy, I don't know. And I feel like there's also a greater question too of, are people more hypercritical of things now because they're getting less of it?
That's interesting.
Right? So a show can come out with, let's say Harry Potter is 6 episodes. And season 2, 6 episodes. Are people going to be more hypercritical because they're only getting 6 episodes? Is it the same thing with the Marvel shows? Where if they came out and they're like, hey, WandaVision is going to be 20 episodes, and you're like, all right, let's go through every sitcom trope we can, and I feel like that limited quality as shows, as even just network sitcoms, right? Each season of It's Always Sunny is 10 episodes now?
Yeah.
We clicked into The Office. I'm rewatching The Office now with my girlfriend. We're looking at 24 to 26 episodes a season. Like, good Lord. Imagine if they had like 6 or 8 or 10. Yeah, I'm going to be a little more hypercritical of them, because if you have 5 that suck, that's half your season versus a quarter, a fifth. I think these are big numbers to think about.
And to your point, there's the one really bad episode of Stranger Things season 2, which, by the way, I think the 2nd season of Stranger Things is highly underrated. I love the 2nd season of Stranger Things, but there's that fucking awful episode in season 2 where they try to do like a backdoor pilot for like other superpowered characters. And since it's an 8-episode season, 1/8 of the show is ass because you had one bad episode. To your point, if you had more and then one's bad, it's really no big deal because it was just a small part of the thing, So it becomes a whole different situation. Now, asking you on The Office,
yeah,
I'm sure when you watch it, you're getting a lot of it. I'm sure you can tell, oh, wow, there's really not a whole lot of money going into this thing. It's a very low-budget television show. Doesn't bother you, though, does it? Because you're getting a great story consistently being told over a long period of time.
Well, it's that end, right? And I think there's an argument, like, let's look at Walking Dead as an example, right? Because Walking Dead was kind of pre-streaming and post-streaming. And the early seasons were very, the show was always 16 episodes, I think, a season?
Yeah, ish.
From the beginning. And I feel like people were not very hypercritical of those 16 episodes because they were getting so many. And then post-streaming, I feel like the show became, now granted the writing and everything kind of did have a decline in it, I'm not going to argue that, but I feel people were like, man, there's only 16 episodes, like, we need all of these to be good. What do you mean? What are we doing here? And I think that's just very, now granted, Stranger Things has been very consistent in that it's still great every time it shows up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those things of like, should this have been, do I want 20 episodes of a Stranger Things? I don't know. I don't think so. It's kind of a double-edged sword if you think about it, right?
Yes, and also, funny enough, sometimes you can evolve past when you hit the peak.
Mhm.
And I think what was cool, Walking Dead reminded me the Breaking Bad era.
Yeah.
The first season had like 6 episodes, but typically it was like 13. It was like the first show that did like the 12 to 13 episode season, and the budget was a little bit higher, and it looked slightly more like a movie. I lost my camera, so I'm cutting to you. But essentially, when that show was going, it looked like a movie, but like a low-budget indie movie. So when you got 13 episodes, it wasn't as much of a punch to you, a gut punch to you, because, wow, this looks a little bit better. And it evolved all the way to now we have to make movies on streaming and there are 6 episodes. And it's like, we lost the plot here. I feel like when we were at the 13 with a slightly higher budget, we were doing fine. With shows like Breaking Bad, which ironically blew up on streaming in like its 2nd or 3rd season, which led to like the Marvel Netflix shows, which were again 13 episodes. I'm going to try to fix my camera as you now talk about the next thing, so please do so.
Oh boy. No, I mean, it's such a hard thing, right? Because it's like, I think it all comes down to like a conditioning thing where now I have seen what they can do with.
I think I lost your mic, Nick.
Camera and I'm out
you
of
had
mic.
no mic and I had no camera, so it was just black for a moment.
Oh boy. Can you hear me now though?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I think really what it is just that, right? I think we're conditioned to now expect high quality in a short amount of time. And I think that is part of the issue with streaming is they're making shows that should be movies. Could you imagine if we had a trilogy of just like 2-hour Stranger Things? I don't know if that's better or worse, but I feel like that's a better option than 20 hours of Stranger Things. But that's also going with the idea or argument that we're getting the same production level, getting the same quality level, but I don't think there's any reason for a sitcom, for a comedy show to be less than 20 less than 20 to 24 episodes a season. And I think that it's one of those things like with What We Do in the Shadow, it's Sunny. Yes, the 10 episodes we're getting are great, but like I feel like I would rather have the consistency of seeing it over several weeks or months and having, as people are saying in the live chat, right, these seasonal ideas of it. They're very much trying to tailor shows now to be timeless. And I think that's counterintuitive because I want to watch every Christmas, every Halloween, several episodes of different TV series of comedy, of Christmas, of Halloween, of Valentine's Day versus I can't watch a Halloween episode of What We Do in the Shadows, even though it's a vampire show, because they haven't really done a Halloween special. But I can go and for some reason watch a Halloween special of WandaVision every year. That's great. So in terms of legacy, I don't know. I I like to hope that it's looked back on fondly, but again, I don't think about it until it's airing again, and I can't say the same about other shows. I actively wait for a new Sunny show season. So, I don't know.
You may lose your mic again as I plug in my headphones.
Yep, that's fine.
Oh, no, you're good. We made it.
Oh, look at that.
So, I agree with everything you said. I'm glad I was able to get my camera working. Sorry about that, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Fun stuff doing over 2-hour live streams. But I agree with everything you said, and I'm going to pull up some of those chats that you had talked about. Morgan Menard saying we need TV shows going back to the seasonal stuff, like the Brooklyn Nine-Nine Halloween episodes were great as well.
Oh, yeah.
Calixer says they yearn for the minds, not the show. Thank you. Says he agrees with Morgan, and Caitlin Short brings up talking about Stranger Things. I think when they made Stranger Things, they never wrote it as the whole story. They had a pitch for the first season and scrambled to remember the storylines and other details. That could be true. I I also love, just speaking of Stranger Things, that they fucked up Will's birthday in one of the episodes, and when fans pointed out, they were like, "Oh yeah, look at that, we fucked that up." I just thought that was funny.
You don't admit that. You write a lore reason.
Yeah, they were like, we'll just George Lucas it later. That's what they said. But I struggle with the legacy question as well, because look, something that Netflix has done is split up the episodes a little bit, and last season and this season, which does help. God, they should have done this week by week for the last season. I think that would have really helped its legacy a lot. Is just letting us live in this period of time, because binging is great as a consuming practice. It's terrible as a marketing one. The only reason Stranger Things blew up the first time is because binging for like 3 years there was the only way people watch TV anymore. And then it suddenly, when it brought back the weekly one, people were like, oh yeah, remember how this was? Again, it's just going back to history repeating itself and going back to that. But, you know, it's just, the whole TV conversation is just so fascinating too, because the right answers are hard, because not only are you having shows be 6 to 8 episodes, you have one person writing the whole thing, which, like White Lotus and Peacemaker and stuff like that, which both shows are very successful and very great, but not only did people win because they got long TV shows every year, but so did the people making them, because you had several people employed getting good residuals, and like it was like a win-win for everybody. And then it just kind of slowly became this new thing. And I'm not going to sit here and say I hate streaming, period. There's been some great streaming shows. I love WandaVision, like you said. I loved Moon Knight. I loved Daredevil, all versions of it. I love non-superhero streaming shows too. Like I love The Studio. I love Stranger Things. I loved House of Cards. Like it's just one of those things where the experiment's over. Go back to weekly shows that are longer, and they can be streaming releases, but just not every single show has to be a movie event show. We can just make TV again, and it's okay. Mike is gone.
Same point. I just came right back into it, if that's fine.
Go for it.
Point though to what you were saying, like about Daredevil, compare that to the whole Arrowverse show series. All of them were several seasons. Flash had 20 episodes a season as well. Yep. And I feel like people talk about Grant Gustin as Flash so fondly.
Mm-hmm.
As for the quality of the show, I haven't watched it, but like that whole universe, that idea, having that much time with the characters, I feel like makes a huge difference. Like, are people going to be talking about the Arrowverse, even just Flash, even just Green Arrow, more so than Daredevil Born Again, because of the amount of time spent with these characters? For better or worse, it's still time spent.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the only really fond things that are remembered that were binge releases are anything from like 2014 to like 2018. Like that was like the binge time period where you could binge a show and it would have a lasting time. Anything after that, no, it just wasn't going to happen. And honestly, COVID hurt streaming as well. It hurt the whole industry in general, but it also just made the discourse worse, because everyone became chronically online because there was nothing else to do, and not everyone went back to normal. People stayed chronically online, which is super fucking annoying. But that's how it became. Some quick things in the live chat. Caitlin Short also says, I think one of the issues with Netflix is how they treat customers or lovers of the movies. They're high-level people, always say things to cut down other studios. And it's so fucking stupid every time they do it. I follow somebody on Twitter who, every time a movie has a great opening weekend, he just retweets the quote from Ted Sarandos saying, people don't go to movie theaters anymore. And I just think that's funny. But yeah, it's just, I love the show. I hope it's remembered fondly. I hope it has the legacy that it deserves to have. I'm just not sure it will, due to just the nature of streaming itself. That's kind of the whole crux of the conversation we're having. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a good segue, but
yeah, that's where we're at.
I don't know. I like to think that it won't, but part of me thinks that it will. That's kind of my final stance on it.
Yep, I understand. Guys, what do you think? Do you think that streaming killed the chances of Stranger Things having a lasting legacy as other TV shows? Let us know in the comments as we move on to the box office.
The box office.
Now, of course, these are the box office results for the weekend of July 11th. So last weekend. And Nicholas, do you happen to have our predictions up? Because I don't.
Oh, boy. I don't think we made predictions on July 11th.
Oh, it might have been
the 8th.
That sounds right.
Superman?
Yep.
Okay, Dalton, you had Superman coming in number 1, Jurassic World Rebirth number 2, F1 number 3, How to Train Your Dragon number 4, 28 Years Later number 5. I had the exact same thing, except in 5th I had Elio.
Nicholas, you fucking nailed it.
Did I really?
Yes, you did.
Oh my god.
Yep, 28 Ladies.
Let's go. I've never gotten all 5 right.
Congratulations.
What an exciting thing.
And 28 Years Later had 2.7 and Elio had 4, so good job. Good job. Here was the top 5, well, we'll do a little bit more, of the box office last weekend. Superman made $125 million in its opening domestic weekend. Jurassic World Rebirth made $40 million in its second week, dropping 56%. F1, the movie, made $13 million, dropping 49% from week 2 to week 3. How to Train Your Dragon made $7.9, dropping 30% from week 4 to week 5. Elio made $4 million, dropping only 30% from week 3 to week 4. That's a good drop. That's a good drop for Elio. 28 Years Later made 2.7, dropping 40% from week 3 to week 4. Lilo and Stitch, crossing $1 billion, made 2.7, dropping from week 31% from week 7 to week 8. We'll finish out the 10. Mission Impossible, 1.4 million in its eighth week. Megan 2, 1.4 in its third week. God damn. And Materialist, 720,000 in its 5th week at number 10. Diving into the numbers more specifically here. Superman. Worldwide total right now has 272 million. It's actually more than that because the numbers hasn't updated the international numbers. Mm-hmm. But I think it'll be closer to around 400 by this Sunday. So we'll be reporting on that next weekend. On a budget of 225, it's already at 1.2 times the budget. By the time here next week, we'll probably be at almost 2.5. So it's getting close to profitability already. We'll see. Jurassic World Rebirth has $569 million worldwide at the box office on a budget of 180. That's a bullshit budget, but if you believe it, it's a 3.2 times the budget. It's still going to be profitable regardless of that budget because dinosaurs be dinosauring. F1 the movie has crossed 400 million worldwide. Good for F1. Budget's not here, but it was around 250, so it's a little bit while to go before profitability, but it will get there soon. How to Train Your Dragon, $571 million worldwide on a budget of 150. It's not listed here, but that's what it is per the trades. Highly profitable, good for them. Elio now is at 120 worldwide. It's at 0.8 times the budget, still hasn't made its production budget back, but hey, if it can keep up 40% drops for the whole summer, it could do it. Just don't chicken out Disney and put it on Disney Plus because then you'll fuck it up. 28 Years Later now has 139 million worldwide. It's at 2.3 times that budget. It's probably going to come just shy profitability, which is a shame because I absolutely love that film. Lilo and Stitch, of course, crossing the $1 billion mark, making 10 times the goddamn budget. That's how you do it. And let's pull up a couple more. Let's pull up Mission Impossible, Megan, and Materialists here. Oh, not what I meant to do. Here we go. Press the wrong button. Mission Impossible now has $584 million worldwide on a budget of fucking 400. I keep forgetting that. Nothing's going to be profitable with that budget. Megan 2.0, only 37 million worldwide. God damn, what a fall from grace.
And it's already going to be on like streaming next week or at home. I think I saw after like 18 days, 20 days, something like that.
Yeah, only 1.5 is the budget of a $25 million budget. Dude, that sucks. I'm sorry for Blumhouse. I hate to see that.
I'm not. Make Malignant 2 instead of Megan 2.
Yes. Thank you, Nick. Materialist, 50 million worldwide on a budget of 20. 2.5! Celine Song did it.
Good for her. We love to see it.
It probably needed a little bit more because the marketing, but I'm still going to choose to believe it's in a good place. So there you go. There you go.
Celine Song's going to keep getting work. We don't have to worry.
I think we'll be fine. I think we're fine
there.
A couple things before we go, guys. Let's do some of these live chats. Going back to the Netflix conversation with Stranger Things, Caitlin Short says, I wouldn't say streaming itself, but more on Netflix. While Stranger Things has a good fan base, people were very upset with quote-unquote better shows getting canceled to make room for the Stranger Things budget. That's a good point. She adds that she's still very angry that they canceled Shadow and Bone. Fair. Netflix always cancels shows after 2 seasons because why would you give them a chance to grow and find an audience? And why let them be independent films released in theaters when you can make them 6 episodes and give them money so they never work again? Motherfuckers. And Morgan also celebrates in here, yay Nick for getting the box office right. Congratulations, my friend. And guys, before we go, just want to remind everybody one more time that we have partnered with NordVPN so that you can watch region-locked movies with NordVPN. Go to the link in our description or go to nordvpn.com/movie nights to get you a nice discount. Protect your online information. Protect yourself when you're at hotels with Wi-Fi or any Wi-Fi that is unsecure. And if you have NordVPN on any device, it will tell you if your device or your connection rather is unsecure and that you should turn the VPN on. It's very, very helpful. I use it all the time. I would not promote something that I wouldn't use. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I just lied to you there. I would if they paid me a lot of money. But I actually do use NordVPN. Honestly, I use NordVPN every single day. I use it every single day. So definitely sign up using our affiliate link because you also support the show that way. Whew. First big long live show. That was fun.
First big live show. I had a great time with it. I really liked it. I feel like it let us get into like kind of just random nonsense, and I'm all about it.
Random Nonsense was my nickname in college. Nick, thank you as always for being on the show with me, for being the better half of movie nights. And, thank you for joining me on these crazy Friday night journeys when you could be out being a young kid. Instead, you're here on the internet with me.
I'm not young.
I
feel old every day.
By the way, you want to hear something cute?
Yeah.
July 18th. I think next week, 10 years ago, is when we met at UCF in the college classes for the summer.
Yeah, probably August, right?
Yeah, 2015.
10 years ago. Holy crap.
Yeah, how the fuck do you feel? I hated saying it.
I don't like the sound of that. I don't like how that made me feel.
Me neither.
I'm gonna go have an existential crisis looking in the mirror saying, I don't know these eyes.
Oh man, the gray hairs, the wrinkles, they're all coming. They're all coming. They come for all of us in the end. But guys, one more time, Quiver is now streaming on Apple TV and Google TV. Please, please, please go watch it. It's only $2.99. And once you watch it, please don't forget to leave a review on Letterboxd and IMDb. That'd be very helpful. And yeah. Caitlin Short says, cheers to 10 years. Thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate it. And with that,
we'll have a lot more polls going on in the community posts.
Yes.
And throughout the week, just to keep people engaged on it. And as we did with the Nicholas Hoult and Topher Grace argument today, we'll be pulling out those information to help back our stats or disagree with them as we did in that case. So be on the lookout for a lot more engagement on that side of things.
Yes. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week, Friday, for a long show.